Here on ESPN, it's great to be here. A new Scottish Premier League season is up and running. Plenty of goals on Saturday and more tonight, we hope. We're at Tannadice, almost 100 years to the day from the first match Dundee United, then Dundee Hibernian played here. We played Hibs on that occasion, tonight it's Hearts. Dundee United want to build on last season's fifth place finish. Hearts have it in their mind, they can break up the Old Firm. These two teams met on the penultimate game of last season. Hearts won 3-0 at Tynecastle. Tonight's game completes the opening fixture list of a new Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League campaign. Here in the studio, two men who played alongside each other for Dundee. We're delighted Colin Hendry has joined the ESPA team. Welcome him back to football. Our thoughts have been with you and your family of late. Joining Colin, the experienced managerial figure of Jim Duffy. And you two know each other very well. I think you helped him along in his playing career, is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, Colin was a striker when he was a young teenager, and we tried to change him into a centre-back, so he had the misfortune to play alongside me, and he didn't do too bad. I think championship medals in England and Scotland, and over 50 caps for, in England, Scotland, 50 caps for Scotland, so not too bad.
Yeah, doing your job. Yeah. Doing your job.
You owe him a debt.
I do.
Can Dundee United build on last season's fifth place?
I think so. I mean, they've tweaked the squad a bit. He's managed to bring in, as Craig, players in key positions, centre-back, Webster, striker and Cadamarteri. I think they're one of the strongest teams in the league alongside Hearts, and he's taken them from strength to strength, so maybe this year he might be able to break up a wee bit. What's
realistic for Hearts? Can they break up the Old Firm?
I don't think so, Ray, because I think that it's strength and depth, and they still lack a striker. They were very, very solid defensively, and they've brought in Black in midfield, and they've still got Andrew Driver, who gives them a little bit of something different in the wide area. And if Larry Kingston can get back fit, then they will pose more of a threat, but they still lack a quality striker for me.
It's exciting, isn't it? We want to get on with it. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah, I mean, we always hope that someone along the line is going to try and break up the Old Firm. We might get an idea tonight.
Kick-off tonight, 7:45. A lot to get through between now and then, and ESPN's Daryl Curry is at Tannadice.
Well, welcome to a part of Tannadice that we don't often get to see. But tonight we have an insider's pass, and I'm in the players' tunnel at the moment. Some of the Dundee United players are just milling around behind me, and they'll be heading in here into the home dressing room in a few minutes' time. You can see the kits have been laying out. There's Ian Cat, as they call him, just laid all the kits out tonight. Danny Cadamarteri, of course, the new signing, in there as well, and we'll be hearing from him later on in the show tonight. The Hearts dressing room's just in behind us. Here's Andy Webster, and of course later on we'll hear from Hearts Michael Stewart, their new captain, as well. So in just over half an hour's time, the teams will stand shoulder to shoulder here in this tight tunnel. They look out onto the pitch for the first time. For the first SPL game of the season, this is the view from the touchline. Now let's go over to our commentary team for the night, Craig Burley and Derek Ray.
Thank you very much, Darryl, and good evening to you from the gantry. I think it's fair to say, if you ask most observers of Scottish football about Dundee United and Hearts, Craig, they'll say that they expect them to finish in the higher reaches of the table when all is said and done.
I think both these teams will be vying for third place. Hearts got there last year. Dundee United had a very bad start to the season, Derek. Did recover at January, got to third, but then slipped away. Both will be looking for a good start. Both have had a good pre-season. Hearts have got a big 10 days coming up with the Europa League, going to Zagreb, then Rangers, then Zagreb again. And Craig Levein won't want the start of last season. He's got some fresh faces in there. He's got a bit of pace. It should be a pretty even match.
Yes, in all, 7 newcomers when you look at the 2 starting 11s. 3 debutants for Dundee United and 4 for the visitors.
Yeah, not ideal for Hearts. New partnership at the back, centre-half. Lee Wallace got an injury problem, so resting him a little bit in there again. Michael Stewart, big role in midfield. Sousa in the wide, they're talking a lot about him. He's got a lot of pace, the Spanish lad. They again get injury problems up front. They've got big Nadi, bullish up front. They'll look to get up and support him. No Driver again, that's a big loss for Hearts. But as I say, they've got a big 10 days.
and it's Scotland in August, and the weather is absolutely perfect. What else would you expect, Ray?
Guys, thanks very much. First reaction to those teams tonight? Anything jump out of you?
No, I honestly think that it'll be a bit cagey. You know, I think it'll be a very close game. It's a big 10 days. I just heard the end of what Craig Burley had to say there, but there's a big 10 days for Hearts. It's a hard tie for them to start with. Dundee United home game, try and reciprocate, or what didn't happen at the end of last season. The 3-0 defeat away at Tannadice, try and get a wee bit of comeback tonight.
Any names jump out to you, Jim?
Yeah, well, I think that if you look at Dundee United, a very big back four, Kovacevic, Dodds, in there with Andy Webster and Paul Dixon, so they've got real strength at, I think, set pieces, and they've got two very quick, mobile guys up front, Cadamarteri and Goodwillie. And Goodwillie is, you know, a player, a young player that's came through the ranks there, Ray, and they've got high hopes from this year. He's a very confident young lad. He believes he should be in the first team, so tonight gives him an ideal opportunity to you know, to say to the manager, "Yep, I'm going to be a regular part of your first team."
Coming up after the break, we'll look back at all Saturday's SPL goals, all 19 of them. Some of them were belters. We'll hear from Dundee United manager and director of football Craig Levein. And also we'll be hearing from his new striker, Danny Cadamarteri. Welcome back. Dundee United and Hearts are in action this evening. Both teams focused on kicking off the new season with a win, something Dundee United have managed only once in 9 seasons. Hearts have a much more impressive record, having won 5 out of the last 6 of their opening fixtures. Plenty of live football to bring you from around Europe this coming weekend here on ESPN. From Serie A, Siena host AC Milan on Saturday night. Milan still smarting from finishing a distant 10 points behind their city rivals Inter last season. And then on Sunday we feature the Italian champions. Mourinho-led Inter Milan at home to Bari at 5 o'clock. Now, as promised, Derek Ray will guide us through all Saturday's SPL goals, starting at Ibrox.
Flag day at Ibrox as Rangers began the defence of their title. Falkirk have a new manager this season in Eddie May. Rangers had to wait 14 minutes for the opening goal, courtesy of Lee McCullough.
Well, that's brilliant! Absolutely stunning! The opening goal of the season for Rangers from Lee McCullough.
Yet within 10 minutes, the visitors were right back in the game.
Good header inside there by Arfield, and a chance! Oh, it's brilliant play! Finnegan for Falkirk!
But it didn't stay level for long.
Looking for Miller, oh, that's brilliant!
It was a productive afternoon for the Scotland striker.
Miller going all the way himself, it's fine play! Oh, that's terrific play by Miller!
And near the end, Rangers added a fourth.
And Naismith, oh, he's done well! Superb finishing by Naismith.
A difficult first test for new Aberdeen boss Mark McGee. Marc-Antoine Fortuny led the line for Tony Mowbray's men at Pataudry. And Celtic were well on top in the first half.
Fortuny! Langfield smothered himself. McGeady has forced it in.
Aidan McGeady was in the mood, as evidenced by this, his and Celtic's second goal of the day.
McGeady swivelling and scoring. A breathtaking goal.
2 goals from McGeady, 13 minutes apart. And more confusion in the Aberdeen defence was to follow.
McDonald! It gets better and better for Celtic.
Aberdeen roused themselves in the second half and pulled one back.
Luco! Oh, that's a wonderful goal!
But Celtic were streets ahead on the day. The capital confrontation threw together Hibernian and St Mirren. Just 15 minutes into the match, the visitors were down to 10 men. Stephen Thompson sent packing for a reckless challenge on Patrick Craig. The two used to play together at Falkirk. Then a moment of classic comedy. Initially, it involved Yves Makalambi, the Hibs goalkeeper. Then Paul Hanlon got in on the act. St Mirren weren't complaining. The goal here arriving from Stephen McGinn. 1-0 on 37 minutes, but within 60 seconds, Hibs were level. The scorer here, 19-year-old David Wotherspoon, making his SPL debut. Abdussalam Benjaloun has spent much of the summer giving the impression that he doesn't want to be a Hibs player. But he came on to marvellous effect. Benjaloun's headed goal, making it 2-1. Where would Kilmarnock be without Kevin Kyle? His crucial goals at the tail end of last season kept Killie in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. He was on target twice against Hamilton. The first goal on 34 minutes, the second one a cracker with 52 minutes played. For good measure, Jamie Hamill scored a third Kilmarnock goal midway through the second half, and Hamilton were well beaten. As First Division champions, how would St Johnstone fare back in the big time? Motherwell were the visitors at McDermott Park. A fine start by St Johnstone, the opening goal courtesy of Murray Davidson, after good work from Liam Craig. Motherwell's riposte came 11 minutes into the second half. Sean Hutchinson courageously throwing himself at the ball. The goal that made it 2-1 to St Johnstone wasn't a work of art. Not that the home fans were complaining. The scorer here, Graham Gartland. Could the SPL new boys stay in front for the remainder of the game? That question was answered in the negative by Ross Forbes. How about this for a finish? An entertaining game, a terrific advert for the SPL. 2-2 in Perth.
Hendry and Jim Duffy here in the studio. First of all, what did you feel about your Fulham Rangers performance?
Well, I think that Walter had been better pleased with the first half, I think, possibly than the second, because he said that he wasn't too happy. You look at the goals, 4-1 at home, you know, you can nitpick as much as you want, but it's still a great start of the season for them.
Yeah, McCulloch's goal, that's something to pick out.
Wonderful. I mean, he's actually won the tackle, set himself up, and struck a fierce shot, as you see it there on the VT. It's fantastic, great strike, absolutely phenomenal.
So he's picked up Barry Ferguson's old number 6. I don't know, Barry would be pleased with that one. But you know, he's got a different role now. You know, initially he was a striker or a wide player. Now he's a sitting midfield player. But if he can add 2 or 3 goals like that to the campaign, then you know Rangers might just have found a little diamond there. How
do you rate Aidan McGeady? Is he a player that's just getting better and better all the time?
I think McGeady's an outstanding player, and he's an entertainer, really, and that's what fans want to see. They pay their money for, to be entertained, and you know, you give him the ball and you expect something exciting to happen, and invariably it does. I mean, this goal here shifts the foot, right foot to left foot. Left foot's actually his weaker one, and he calls it right in the top corner, and he had a fantastic performance against Aberdeen.
Back to tonight's game, we're moving close to the kick-off between Dundee United and Hearts. Let's return to ESPN's Daryl Curry at Tannadice.
Thank you, Ray. Well, Craig Levein already has some striking problems and the SPL season hasn't even started yet. John Daly's still out with a knee injury. Francisco Sandaza isn't ready. A new Argentinian signing, Damian Castellanovo, also has a shoulder problem. So the onus tonight shifts to David Goodwillie and Dundee United's new man, Danny Cadamarteri, who's just warming up behind us at the moment. He's come from Huddersfield. Some of you will remember him as a top prospect down at Everton some years ago. He's bounced around some clubs and had some discipline problems, but he'd like to rekindle his career here on Tannadice.
You look back and think, you know, what could have happened, and you know, and I wish this had happened, but I think it's how you adapt to the present time, and you know, I've got to look back on things that have happened in the past and use them to my benefit, and make sure I put wrongs in the past right now. You know, learn from your mistakes, as people say, and you know, I think I'm a better person, a better player for things that have happened in the past. Yeah, I could look back and say, well, you know, I could maybe be playing the Premier League now, but I'm not. I'm playing in the Scottish Premier League. It's a new chapter in my career, and it's where I go from here, not what happened in the past.
Come on, don't get this on ESPN, please.
This is an opportunity. It's like a fresh, clean slate for me. Come up to play Premier League football and pick my wits up in Scotland now. So, I'm just looking forward to keeping my head down, working hard, trying to add a little bit of experience to the young team we've got. I'm not using Dundee United as an opportunity to try and progress to another club. I've come up here to further my career, hopefully with Dundee United, and help the team and try and add something to the team that the manager hopes I can do. I spoke to a couple of players that were at Leicester that he'd taken there, and I had great rave reviews, and the people I spoke to said that I'd fit into the sort of regime he had, so it's something I look forward to. With the way his approach is to the game, he wants 110% commitment. When I spoke to him before I actually signed here, he turned around to me and said, sometimes you're not going to play your best games. I think he'd actually been to watch me on one of the games, and I've not had a great game. And he said, you're not always going to play great every day. But, I want 110% commitment. If the work ethic's there, then I can't ask any more of you. There was enough quality in the team last year to do it. I think that obviously the team had a disappointing start to the season, which obviously hampered them really, and just tailed off a little bit towards the end, which I know since I've come in here, the boys have been bitterly disappointed to have not been playing the European football, this season. It's a revenge type game, it was a disappointing result towards the end of the season against Hearts that cost us a place in Europe, I'd say. Not the last game of the season against Rangers, where Rangers obviously were going all out to win the league. So, our main focus is to get a result here against them, and it's a little bit of revenge really. We want to get a good result against them.
Well, that was Danny Cadamarteri, and I'm now with the Dundee United manager, Craig Levein. You brought Danny in during the summer. What can he add to the side?
Well, firstly, experience. It's an area of the pitch that we don't have a lot of experience, but it'll bring power, pace, and hopefully some goals as well. Yeah,
experience is such a big thing, isn't it? Guys like Andy Webster coming in. Is that something you felt you lacked a bit last season?
A little bit. We lost Willow Flood. Also, Warren Feeney was on loan. He was away. So I felt that we had to, that was probably something that was wrong with the team anyway. I felt we needed a little bit more experience, and Webster, Stevie Banks obviously is a backup goalkeeper, Danny Cadamarteri. I feel that we've added in important positions.
Because striking as well, that's a bit of a problem right now. Some injuries to key players, including Damian Castelnuovo, who you've brought in from Argentina as well. He's down as well at the moment.
Yeah, well, Damon's actually back in training. But we have Sandaza and John Daly, injured at this minute in time, and a lot of time last season they were our starting pair up front. So we'll miss those two. Hopefully get them back in September. We're also young Kevin Smith, who's a top goal scorer in second division last year, out on loan to Raith Rovers. He's injured as well, so we'll get him back, I think, in September as well. So we've got those players to come back. We've got Lee Wilkie to come back as well, of course. He's out injured just now. So that will boost the team when those guys get back in.
You had more draws than anyone else in the SPL last season. How do you go about changing that? Because that possibly cost you third place.
I wouldn't blame that on its own. There's a number of reasons that I believe that we didn't finish as high up the league as I would have liked. Our inexperience was part of that. I feel that we've got a better team this year. I feel that we've added in important positions, as I said to you, and I also feel that the young lads that we have are a year older, played another 35-40 games last season, and I think a lot of those around about the early 20s will be better this year, and that will certainly improve us.
Do you expect to finish third?
Well, let's be honest, if Hearts, with the budget that Hearts have got, if they get it right, they should be third. But we'll be pushing. We'll try to do our best, improving our fifth place to finish last season. And I think we're a better side, so fourth or third would be good.
Craig, thank you very much. So you heard it there from the manager. He'd like to improve in last season's fifth place finish.
And he's putting it right back to Hearts, isn't he? That with their budget they should finish third. Let's look at some of the players. Jim, I'm keen to know what you think of 27-year-old. I think Andy Webster, he had the history of the Hearts contractual issue on loan from Rangers. Keen to know what you think of him as a player.
Yeah, well, he is one player who does know what like it is to be part of a team who could split the old for him. He was part of a very successful Hearts side alongside guys like Stephen Presley, Craig Gordon, Paul Hartley. So, as Craig Levein mentioned there in the interview, his experience is vital. He's been there, he's done it. He seemed to lose his way a little bit. He's been blighted by injuries as well over the last maybe 12 months or so. So a fit Andy Webster would be an asset, there's no question about that. He's a good talker, he's a good organiser. As this man sitting next to me knows, if you can organise, then it's half the battle.
What's your view, Colin, on Danny Cadamarteri? 29 years of age. We know he's had problems in years gone by, failed a drugs test in 2006. Yeah. As he says, as he admits, this is a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, I mean, I played against Danny in the early days at Everton when I was at Blackburn Rovers, and he did take the eye then. I think he'd been kicking around the Huddersfield area, Bradford and all these teams in that area, in that league for quite a bit of time now. Wee fresh challenge for him. I think that's maybe the key for him.
And a key man surely is Magaro Gomez. Surely he's going to be very important.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dynamic midfield player, you know, give and go, very busy, catches the eye. Him and Prince Boban, you know, they kind of dovetail together a bit. Also, you know, he is a player that has been, you know, been rumoured to be catching the eye of one or two clubs down south as well. So, I mean, he maybe want to move down south. A lot of the players like to, you know, start at Scotland and then try to further careers. But Gomez has certainly got the talent to do that way.
This is a great shop window and a great opportunity for them all, isn't it?
Well, it is. And I mean, as Jim says, a lot of the players in Scotland that play in Scotland would love to end up playing in England, because that's what they talk about these days, about a bit of money, but a bit of a success as well.
After the break, we'll return our attention to Hearts. We'll hear from the manager, Shaba Laszlo. And we'll also hear from the player he's picked to be the new club captain. There he is, weird Hearts fan, Michael Stewart. 15 minutes to kick off in the first ESPN Scottish Premier League game of the season, featuring two teams who believe they can compete for a top three finish. Dundee United against Hearts. The excitement and the expectancy of a new season is obvious. Well, this coming Saturday on ESPN, our live coverage of the French Top 14 Rugby Union continues with Johnny Wilkinson's Toulon hosting Racing, the team from the west of Paris that were promoted as last season's second division champions. So back to Tannadice now, and Daryl Curry.
Welcome back to the touchline, and I'm with our co-commentator Craig Burley. Craig, many changes again for Hearts this season. Stability is something they've not had for years.
Well, Shaba Laszlo's been here a year, and that's stability in anybody's book, certainly under Vladimir Romanov. Last manager to last a year or more was Craig Levein, way back in 2003. So that is stability. Of course, they've got some new signings for tonight, we see, especially the young boy Souza, who we think is going to play in the right-hand side. We've heard a lot about him, so that is exciting for the fans. But it might be some of the old guard, Darren, that are the key for Hearts this season this year.
Yeah, Bruno Aguiar left, the charismatic midfielder. Michael Stewart will have to pick up a lot of the slack, won't he?
Well, I remember Michael Stewart as a youngster coming in amongst the Scotland squad, carrying the kit hampers, getting a bit of experience. Of course, he was at Manchester United there, and what better place to learn your trade. Didn't quite work out from there. Then he went off to Nottingham Forest, and again it didn't quite work out. I think a lot of questions about his attitude in his younger years, but he's matured, was at Hearts, then went to Hibs, then he went back to Hearts. Not easy to do because you get a lot of stick, but he's handled that well. His performances have been good, and I think his attitude's been much, much better. You don't get the captaincy if you're not performing, so a big onus, big responsibility on Michael Stewart this year, not only to perform himself, but to get other players around about him performing.
Okay, thank you for now. Well, as you just heard, not many people cross the divide. It's almost unheard of to do it twice. That's what Michael Stewart's done, and we caught up with him earlier this week.
If you do look, you know, through the past few captains, and especially a lot of the sort of the times that the club's gone through, they've had a lot to deal with, and you know, last year was thankfully a successful season. We started off with Christophe as captain, and then Robbie took over, you know, halfway through the season when Christophe left the club, and I think that the two guys, you know, they did a fantastic job, and you know, it's something that obviously I've got to look to try and replicate. There is a relative amount of success achieved, and you know, the spotlight sort of gets put on the team, and I think that, you know, that's up to the players to sort of take that extra responsibility and make sure that you know, we replicate what happened last year. And I think that you know, with a few tweaks here and there the managers managed to do over the pre-season, and hopefully if we can get one or two extra players in before the transfer window closes, I think that there's no reason why we shouldn't be up there challenging again. It's been, you know, a long time since we were playing European games at Tynecastle, so it's definitely something that, you know, not just the players, but I'm sure the fans are all looking forward to it as well. That we can, you know, create a special atmosphere at Tynecastle on European nights, and hopefully that will propel us to, you know, have some success in getting into the group stages. You a lot was made of the fact that Bruno was the sort of top goal scorer. I think I'm pretty sure he scored about 7, and you think to yourself, how on earth did we manage to finish so high up the table? But I think when you look at the overall goals scored, I'm pretty sure we were near the top of the league in terms of goals scored, which is a bit of a paradox in itself. There are always difficult games up at Tannadice. They're predominantly pretty horrible as well. Although that's usually the middle of the season when the pitch isn't too great. It's not the easiest of places to go to pick up 3 points, but it's really at the start of the season. It's one that a big game like that we don't want to lose, but we want to make a good account of ourselves also.
Colin Hendry, assess the strengths and the qualities of Michael Stewart.
Michael's always been a very, very good footballer, and I think Craig had mentioned the fact that at times in his career he'd gone a little bit wayward. What he has done, he's covered some boundaries that some other players have never ever done before, going from one club to another club within the one city. He's now got responsibility by taking on the armband, and he's maturing as well. I did speak to Michael, I seen Michael about 18 months ago and was asking him about the whole thing, and he said, Colin, I feel as if I'm getting back to, or getting to where I want to be as a footballer.
Now, goals are going to be an issue, aren't they? Christian Nade, what are his qualities? Can you supply them?
Well, he's not a prolific goal scorer, but he does chip in with a few. He has to score more as a striker. He's a target man striker. You can see, his physical presence. He's very, very strong. His upper body strength is immense, and he's a battering ram type of a striker. But by his own admission, he's no stranger to a steak pie during the summer, and he has to really work hard on his fitness levels. And but when he is fit, he has a handful, and he does, as I said, his job is to upset the 2 centre backs of Dundee United tonight and leave space for midfield players coming through.
How important do you guys, pre-season, important, very important? Doesn't it work either way?
Well, 7 games in 95 for Blackburn Rovers, we lost every one and we won the championship. So that could tell you as much as you want to know, really. Be up to the manager. I mean, they look at the last 2 games. Each manager can look at the last 2 games they've played against Premiership quality, and they've got decent results.
Time to hear from the Jambos manager. Quite a survivor. Only man to complete a full season in charge under Hearts owner Vladimir Romanov. He's the 10th Hearts boss the Lithuanian has appointed in under 5 years.
Yes, welcome back to Tannadice, and I'm with Shabo Laszlo now, the Hearts manager. And Shaba, it's been a mixed pre-season for your side. How ready are your team for the start of the SPL season?
I tell you after the game, but normally we are ready, and a little bit is so. I think everybody is happy now. The football is on, and we can't play again. This 6 weeks preparation pre-season was very long, and I think we worked very good, very focused. And now the first game is always very important. It's not easy to play here against Dundee. Last season it was the most, and I think the biggest competitor for the qualifying for the Europe League. And now this week we have 3 games, and the first game here in Dundee, very heavy game, but I hope we can win, and always I like to win.
Yeah, you called on your board to sign some players during the summer because you lost some key men. Do you feel they did that? They backed you?
Yeah, okay, maybe in the striker position we need 1 or 2 more players, but in the defense we get Kuravski and also Ismail Bouzid, and for the midfield we took 2 players, the Jan Black and also Suso Santana. I think at the moment the team is so far okay. Always a manager need new player, but also we must look the resource and the economical situation at the moment in the Scottish football is not so good, but I think we tried the best and we get some players. Now it is finished, the league is on. Today the first game, and after we travel direct to Zagreb, and we must look also in Europe League to get a very good result. And after, I think we have the Rangers, and after this week we can look back, and I hope here against Dundee we can get the 3 points. I think it's always the same. Every manager have to wish to win. Also the Dundee manager have to wish to win. Maybe will be a good game, maybe not. The most important is the result.
Okay, thank you very much, Shaba. So Shaba has 4 new signings in his team tonight, including the exciting Suso Santana.
Final thoughts, how do you see this match going, Jim?
I just think the Dundee United side's a little bit more settled, and being the first game at home, I can just see them just snatching the victory here.
Agree with that, Ray. Yeah, I think they were looking to try and turn that result over from back in the last season.
A lot of people will be keenly watching this game this evening. I would imagine the managers are out as well to see how both these two teams prepare. So I think when you look at it all in all, the managers that are there tonight, who do you think they'll be looking out for most of all? Who will they think will make the impact on this match?
Well, I think that you've got one or two players obviously missing, but I think that Michael Stewart has got to be the guy that really grabs the responsibilities, as Colin said, for Hearts. For Dundee United, I think it's like the new signing. I think Danny Cadamarteri is the one that is going to try and impress his supporters.
Kick-off is 5 minutes away. Players and fans keen to get going and get the season underway. We'll have all the action for you when we return. Welcome back. Time to join our commentary team, former Scottish international Craig Burley and ESPN's Derek Ray.
Thank you very much, Ray. Good evening to you. Good evening, everyone. We're on tenterhooks at Tannadice. This tight little ground is bursting at the seams with anticipation. Dundee United and Hearts, two sides from the east, have been thrust together in an opening league fixture for only the third time. And they appear better equipped than most to put the wind up the footballing behemoths in the West this season. Healthy contingent of Hearts supporters have travelled the road and the 60 miles to Dundee. Dundee United, fifth last term, had a European place cruelly snatched away from them on the final day by Aberdeen. The locals here quite encouraged based on what has happened during the summer and the team that Craig Levein has put together. Hearts last time round came a well-merited third, and their reward arrives in 3 days' time when they will face Dinamo Zagreb in Croatia in the playoff round of the Europa League. It's a mouth-watering start for us on ESPN in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League, and the weather has fully cooperated. It's a glorious August evening. Walter Smith, the Rangers manager, is here. Rangers victorious on Saturday by a 4-1 margin against Falkirk. He wasn't entirely happy with the performance, but you can't argue with 3 points at the first time of asking. Well, Craig Burley is with me, soaking up the atmosphere, Craig.
Well, it's always the anticipation of a new season, some new players, some players the fans have seen before. Two sides certainly that should be vying for third and certainly should be ruffling the feathers of the old firm. They're both capable on any given occasion. Been plenty of goals, Derek, in the SPL this first weekend. I think 19 in total. It's got the makings of a good match, and let's hope we'll get a bit of a goal feast here tonight. Big 10 days for Hearts, but Dundee United have to get off to a good start. They didn't last season. Much anticipation about the Craig Levein regime, how he goes about his job, and looking forward to one or two new players from both sides.
Dundee United are notoriously slow starters. Just one win in the last 9 opening league games. That win coming against Aberdeen a couple of years ago. Different story for Hearts. 5 victories in their last 6 games coming out of the traps. Morgado Gomes makes his 100th appearance for Dundee United, and they might have a difficult time keeping him here at Tannadice if a fair offer comes in from south of the border. United make just one change from the team that beat Blackburn 2-0 in their final pre-season game. Andy Schala, the German-born striker, is the odd man out, with Danny Cadamarteri returning to the side.
Well, some changes for Dundee United. New goalkeeper, much experience, Nicky Weaver, Premier League experience with Man City, and Charlton on the lower leagues last year. 2 big centre-halves in there, so it shouldn't be a problem for them in there. What a great chance for Andy Webster to get his career back on track after 3 years in the wilderness. They will look to get it into midfield. They are without Conway, who's on the bench, and the much anticipated Cadamarteri up front. Plenty of pace up there. They say he's not here for the money. He has to prove that.
He goes by the name of Suso, and early indications are that this feisty Spaniard is anything but so-so. He's one of 4 Hearts players appearing in the SPL for the first time tonight. One switch for Hearts as well from the team that faced Sunderland in their most recent preparation match. Lee Wallace is rested as a precautionary measure with the trip to Zagreb in mind. He's been nursing a hip injury. New Polish signing Dawid Kucharski takes his place.
Well, new centre-half partnership, which is not ideal. Lee Wallace a doubt, so they're not going to take a risk with him, so they've had to chop and change a little bit. Michael Stewart captain, a lot of responsibility on him. The much talked about Sousa and Wittenveen, no real pedigree, but Nadi up front, not a natural goal scorer, but they need to get some service up to him.
Tonight's referee is Steve Conroy. The wait is over for Dundee United and Hearts. The campaign starts here with this Monday night meeting of Tangerines and Maroons. An early weather vane perhaps in terms of who might have the capacity to push the old firm in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League.
Well, Gomez actually started on the left, Derek, and it's him that played that ball up to Goodwillie. Bouzid was a little bit overzealous for the challenge, came through the back of the young striker. It presents itself with a decent opportunity in the first 30 seconds. They put a quality ball in.
And it's 22-year-old Danny Swanson entrusted with the task of taking this Dundee United free kick. Easy meet for Marian Kello, the Slovakian goalkeeper for Hearts. Craig Levein, of course, made his name with Hearts as a player, spent 14 years there, was for 4 years their manager, but now charged with bringing stability to Dundee United and making a decent fist of it. Csaba Laszlo engineered a third-place finish for Hearts last time round. He's something of a footballing nomad, born in Romania but regards himself as Hungarian.
He's probably under the greatest pressure of any SPL manager. Done really, really well, and you consider the amount of managers Vladimir Romanov's been through. So just to get results week in, week out, Csaba Laszlo, very difficult, but to be fair, he coped very well last year.
Egert Jonsson is the Hearts right back, the Icelandic international, played recently for his country in the defeat at Hampden Park against Scotland. We'll watch with interest to see where Gomes plays tonight. We spoke to Craig Levein earlier, and he indicated that he might drift just a bit.
Well, he started on the left, he's now gone to the right, and I think they will tend to do that as the game goes. I think ideally Gomez, Derek, will play in the middle and get on the ball, but with Conway not being quite up to speed in terms of fitness, and Craig Levein not want to take a risk, they will, move about in there, and they'll be hoping that's going to give Hearts problems.
It was a fantastic pre-season for Dundee United. They didn't lose a single game. Hoping to carry that sort of form, Craig Levein's side, into the season proper. There's Paul Dixon, excellent young left back for Dundee United. Now Swanson, and down he goes, and Steve Conroy didn't have to think for very long. Well, it was right on the edge, but he's pointed to the spot, and an early penalty for Dundee United.
Yeah, it's inside, isn't it? I mean, I think it's a good decision. It's just inside. Once you stick that leg out, Derek, then you've got problems. It's very, very sloppy. Very sloppy. Give the referee no choice.
All eyes then on Danny Cadamarteri. It's his first match in the SPL. And here he is, the 29-year-old with a chance to open the scoring. Cadamarteri! Only just, but he won't be complaining. And it's a fabulous start by Dundee United.
Well, not only for Craig Levein, but for a new signing, any new signing at any club, you want to get off to a flying start, and that's what Cadamarteri does. So you've got to say, Kello in goal is very, very unfortunate. It's a good penalty, not a brilliant one, but it's good enough. He gets a finger's tip to this, and the goalkeeper's so disappointed that he's not been able to touch it around the post. But the damage was all done by the sloppy leg from Jonsson on Swanson that gave the penalty away in the first place.
This time it's Swanson with the infringement going in on Suso. He's in no hurry to return to his feet, the Spaniard.
Well, ironically, it was, you know, this challenge on Sousa here, he's down injured. That's a bit, you know, reckless to say the least, but it was actually Sousa, and we've been talking about him there. He didn't get back in and help Johnson there. There was loads of room for Swanson when he picked the ball up, and he drove it. He did the right thing, he drove in. I think Chabalazzo just frustrated with that. Maybe thinks it wasn't a penalty, but certainly from our pictures, we can show you it was. But, you know, he left Johnson 1-on-1 with Swanson. He drove in, and, well, just a sloppy leg out. I mean, he sticks out enough. I think the player's quite clever. And, well, he gets a bit fortunate here. It's good enough.
It was untidy by Jonsson. And a penalty to Dundee United. Cadamarteri scoring from the spot. Lively start on Tayside. Sousa, as you can see there, back on his feet, receiving treatment. Michael Stewart to take the free kick. His last goal came here at Tannadice back in February, a 1-0 win for Hearts. Christian Nade trying to put pressure on Andy Webster, the former Hearts man. And Sousa back with us now. Whistle has gone.
There's a little tug on Sousa's shot there. Steve Conroy was going to play the advantage. It wasn't the greatest ball in, and that's why he dragged it back. There was no advantage. Important for Hearts now to settle down. Early goal lost, sloppy.
Hearts obdurate, organised last season. The third best defensive record in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. Delivery from Sousa. Nade was up there again. Steered away by Darren Dodds wearing the captain's armband. Palazuelos. That was delightfully done. This is Abua, David Abua, the Ugandan international. And Witteveen was hovering. David Witteveen, one of the newcomers for Hearts this season, the Austrian, signed from Red Bull Salzburg. Swanson, really impressed in pre-season. Cadamarteri had made the run, almost getting on the end of it.
I think he just delayed that, Derek, a little bit too long. I think he plays this early. Cadamarteri's in, and the defender doesn't get a chance to get the leg out. I mean, again on the break there, just Heart's been a little bit stretched. They've got to be careful. You know, if they are going to push for the equaliser, don't leave yourself open.
Again, Abua going up, confronted by Mikhail Kovacevic. The right back, Swiss-born, but of Croatian parentage. Palazuelos, very much the ball winner in midfield for Hearts. He's Goncalves. Abua, nobody there. Nade is running into Webster. Nade is the player down. He's a prolific goal scorer, Christian Nade, not on the evidence of last season's work, but an effective leader of the line.
Well, you can see by looking at him, he's a big old lump, isn't he? I mean, you'd want him to be ruffling your centre-halves and trying to get on the second ball.
Michael Stewart trying to angle it towards Witteveen. Paul Dixon. No danger there. Steve Conroy with a very big decision to make. Early in this match, we hadn't even reached the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, 2 minutes 40, he's got a big call. You can see his position there, he's in a perfect position. He must be 10 yards away. And okay, people say there's not much contact, but when you dangle your leg out, as Johnson did, then Swanson's going to take advantage of it. And well, that is the perfect start for the debutant, Danny Cadamarteri. A lot resting on his shoulders this season because of his experience, and that'll boost his confidence.
He's very keen to be here in Scotland at this stage of his career. And Scott Robertson involved there in the midfield area.
I don't know what it is, Derek, but I've got the feeling we've got a lively one here tonight.
I think you might be onto something, Craig.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, as I said, two sides, very even matched. Got a lot to play for this season. Can go out here with no fear this evening, play a bit of football, take a few chances and try and get off to a good start.
When we saw the fixture list come out, we did suspect this would be a tasty one. Our first live Clydesdale Bank Premier League game on ESPN. Great to have you with us wherever you are. 29 more live games from the SPL to come between now and the end of the season. They get Jonsson with the throw. Andy Webster, the boos coming from the Hearts supporters. It's an aimless ball by Kovacevic.
I think Andy Webster's a bit long in the tooth for that now. Great opportunity for that lad to get his career back on track. You know, 3-4 years ago you were looking at him as a regular in the Scotland team, Andy Webster, but his career's just come off the rails, and Craig Levine's given him a great opportunity here, Derek, to get it back on track, especially the way the Scotland national team are playing at the moment.
Andy Webster on loan from Rangers. It's his first SPL match in a couple of years. The pass was by Prince Buabin, the Ghanaian. Dodds, one of the most improved defenders in Scottish football over the past few years. Damon Dodds. Stewart. Only last week was named club captain of Hearts by Shaba Laszlo. They're getting a bit tousy again in the midfield area.
See, I think Steve Conroy's got to let that go there, Derek. I mean, it's quite obvious to me, Dundee United, whenever they get a free kick, they want to get it down. There's no doubt it's a free kick here. And you watch Bobbin, he wants to get it down, he wants to take it quick.
Tackle coming in from Obua. Kucharski. He had Cadamarteri for company. Dawid Kucharski, signed from the Polish club Lech Poznan. It's the 148th meeting of these two. 47 wins for Dundee United, 62 for Hearts, 38 draws. Of course, it's Dundee United's centenary year. Played their first match here at Tannadice 100 years ago tomorrow, back when they were Dundee Hibernian, formed by the then fairly sizable Irish community here in the city of Dundee. Cadamarteri. And the free kick this time goes Hearts' way. Actually, it will be a throw for Jonsson to take. Sousa trying to bring his influence to bear. Swanson. Chris McPherson, the manager of St Mirren, and St Mirren will be Dundee United's next opponents. They'll be travelling to Paisley on Saturday. Most of the SPL managers are here tonight, as you would expect. Stewart getting involved again, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, I think possibly, you know, coming up to 14 minutes, a bit of frustration from Hearts. I think Dundee United have looked a little bit sharper at the start, certainly in midfield, quicker to the ball, getting their passing going. Hearts haven't really been able to get it up to Christian Nade, and he's been able to hold it in, and the midfield then can squeeze up, the back four can squeeze up. Not really been able to get hold of the ball at the moment, Hearts.
Marian Kello referred to Janos Balog in goal for Hearts this evening. We'll have Dusan Pernis coming in January as a pre-contract with the club. Suso, and it's a handful. It was Paul Dixon who was with him.
Sorry, yeah, but what we don't want to see is players asking referees to get other players booked. That's a big no-no. I mean, there's no doubt it's a free kick. I mean, Dixon's got a hold of his shirt, and Sousa's quite clever. He goes across the full back there. So, I mean, if he's going to make a challenge, it's going to be a free kick. We don't want to see that. Let the referee it.
So Sousa to take the Hearts free kick. Joined the club on a free transfer from Tenerife.
Well, they're asking for the player, I think it's Gurwilli to go back 10 yards. Michael Stewart was asking the same thing for the free kick earlier. Hearts fans beneath us not particularly happy.
Sousa, it was a Buas header. Didn't quite arrive on the boot of Goncalves. Now perhaps the opportunity for a Dundee United break. A flick by Gomes. Often gives you the impression he's strolling through matches. A little bit of contact there. It's Goodwillie asking the question.
That was a good opportunity there for Dundee United on the counter. Ball was just behind Cadamarteri a little bit. That really took the sting out of the attack.
"15 minutes on the clock, and it's been entertaining, Craig."
That certainly has. I mean, two sides going at it, plenty of challenges, a little bit niggly. Great start for the home side, obviously, and I think that pass we just saw there typified Hearts. You know, a little bit sloppy, haven't really got the passing game going.
Jose Goncalves operating at left back. It's turning it out of play. This time it comes off Scott Robertson. Goncalves, a 23-year-old, classes himself as Portuguese but was brought up in Switzerland. There's Nade. Christian Nade, the Parisian.
He's a big old boy, isn't he? If he says it's Thursday as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not going to argue either.
Nope, best not.
We're waiting. And it's a good take, confident take by the experienced Nicky Weaver. Stewart. Kucharski. Haven't seen much of Bouzid so far.
And again, I mean, there was under no pressure there, Bouzid. A little ball down the, you know, the right-hand channel in between the left back and the left centre half into Nade's feet and give them something to hold on to. Just, you know, lumped it over the top.
Goodwillie touching it into the stride of Cadamarteri. Oh, Goodwillie carries on. All eyes were on the referee.
Well, I think the referee's blind to this, but the referee's assistant certainly not. Now, Cadamarteri's sharp, we'll get a good look here. That's a penalty kick. Certainly if it's in the box and he looked it to me, we'll get a good look from this angle here. Oh, well, it's probably just outside. It's a free kick, but at full speed it looked a penalty kick. But to not give anything there, come on. Referee's assistant's looking straight at it. I did feel Steve Conroy was a little bit on the blind side.
Let off for Hearts, you've got to conclude.
Certainly, I think, just outside when we saw the replay there. At full speed it looked as if, but that's what Cadamarteri gives you. I mean, the searing pace. If you dive in, as Swanson did, as Jonsson did for the penalty on Danny Swanson, and that's the danger round about the edge of the box.
Sousa. Palazuelos. By Goncalves. Cadamarteri was right beside him. Swanson. He's from a Hibernian supporting family. He was from Edinburgh. And Gomes, corner to Dundee United. Just look that little bit sharper, the home side.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Get the bit between the teeth, they can sniff a second. They want to take advantage when, you know, they're on the ascendancy. You've got plenty of bodies forward there. You can see 6 on the attack. Nice little ball, holding the width out on the right-hand side, stretching Hearts. And won a corner kick in the end.
Danny Swanson with the corner. And Kovacevic.
He's a big lad, Kovacevic, isn't he? You can see him getting a run in here. Just gets put under a little bit of pressure at the end. Craig Levein frustrated because he knows it was a good ball in.
Dundee United well worth the 1-0 advantage. Could easily be worse than that from the Hearts' point of view. And Cadamarteri carries on. Swanson showing a little bit too much of it to Kuharski. And Steve Conroy now has a statement to make. And he's calling over David Abua. So 20 minutes into the match and the first yellow card, Craig.
Yeah, I think, you know, Steve Conroy just had enough. Setting his stall out. I do feel, and we will have a look when the game slows down a little bit, at that contentious decision on the edge of the box that, you know, we talk about what they used to call linesmen being assistants now. Well, I think they've got to assist. You know, the referee's assistant on that side was looking straight at it, Derek. He's got to give his, you know, his referee's colleague a little bit of help there.
Yes, from up here, with the naked eye, our instinct was immediately foul.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt it was an infringement. And Steve Conroy, he was on the blind side of it, you know, and we talked about Cadamarteri's pace, and this is what he gives him, and Boozy did the sloppy challenge. Now, I think it's just outside the box. Now, that's difficult at full speed to judge. The referee's on the blind side, it's a free kick, end of story. But the referee's assistant is on that side, and he's, what, 10, 12 yards away? He's looking straight, he's got to help his colleague out.
Dixon, the width is provided by Swanson. It's been an energetic start to this game. Willis was trying to race onto it. Craig Levein has every reason to be happy with what he's seeing. Webster jousting with Nadi. United in search of their first victory here at Tannadice since the 24th of January. They overcame St Mirren by 3-2. For whatever reason, they couldn't get the results at home in the latter part of last season. And the free kick will go to Hearts. You can hear what the home fans think about that.
Well, swarming round. Hearts in midfield. Dundee United really snapping at their heels. Don't want to give them any time on the ball whatsoever to get in a rhythm.
Forward by Jonsson. This is Vitavein. Suso. And Abua's in there. And Ruben Palazuelos. First real goal-bound threat from Hearts. And he made Nicky Weaver think.
Well, first time he's had to make a save, Nicky Weaver. That's a better ball in from Sousa. At least puts Dundee United under a bit of pressure. He's got no backlift there, Palazuelos, so he's struggling to get the power in it. In fact, I thought he did particularly well to get the power in it. He did, but I think when Nicky Weaver saw it, it was always quite comfortable with him here. But, you know, at least he hits the target. You can see he's backing off. Very good strike in the end under the circumstances. And, well, for the first thing he's had to do, it's a pretty good save from Weaver.
Like this guy. Keep going, lad. Okay.
Just a reminder, we have more live football coming up for you this weekend on ESPN. On Saturday, we're at the Falkirk Stadium for the visit of Hibernian, Eddie May and Alex Smith. The Brain Trust of Falkirk in attendance tonight. And then from the Barclays Premier League, our first London derby of the season on ESPN. That's on Sunday at 12:30, West Ham against Tottenham. We have a yellow card to report here, and Michael Stewart being called over. It's no great surprise, given how he's been getting stuck in, Craig.
No, as I said earlier, Derek, a free kick about 10-15 minutes ago, I think it's frustration from Michael Stewart that he's not able to get his foot on the ball and make things happen. He's having to chase about. Again there, I mean, I think he's going for the ball. You know, I think Abua was booked for persistent fouling, and you know, he's intends to play the ball, but he's late, and he stops Dundee United in their tracks, and that's why Steve Conroy gives him a yellow card.
Combative player, Michael Stewart. He is a natural captain in so many ways. There's Paul Dixon, Dundee United's young player of the year last season.
Well, just try to poke a right leg out here. And Swanson, who I think's had a pretty lively start for Dundee United, I've been quite impressed with him. Obviously, he won the penalty after, what, 2 minutes 40 for them. Cadamarteri dispatched that, so Dundee United have looked sharp, which I'm sure will please their manager.
By Webster, down by Cadamarteri. Still a work in progress, this Cadamarteri-Goodwillie partnership. First glance, you might not think it's a partnership of complementary players. They teamed up well in pre-season. It's a corner. And a corner to Dundee United, conceded by Goncalves. Oh no!
The referee's overruled that the referee's assistant, who is 2 yards away, unless he's given it for a shove. I thought it looked pretty much, well, that's body check to me, that's shoulder to shoulder, is it not? Bit of strength there.
He's given the free kick.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think assistant didn't give it. You shouldn't expect that.
Swanson. Goodwillie. Scored 5 pre-season goals. Swanson. He's got Cadamarteri in the middle. Didn't get any loft on that. Chested down by Nadi, teaming up with Vitavane. Christian Nadi. And Andy Webster, standing guard for Dundee United.
Good challenge, big switch was on to Abua on the left. Held his ground out there, was gesticulating, get the ball out to me. Kovacevic had tucked in, as you would imagine. Nadi didn't spot him.
This is Suso. And it's the Hearts corner this time. And Suso will take it himself. Plenty of tall targets. This corner for Hearts. But it comes from Suso. And Michael Stewart into the Eddie Thompson stand. That stand named after the late chairman of Dundee United Football Club.
Yeah, never quite got himself set there, did he, Michael Stewart? Never really looked comfortable as the ball came out. He wasn't under a bundle of pressure. Had plenty of room in the edge of the box just to set himself. It was always going to be a difficult chance on the half volley, but you know, at this level, with that much of experience as Michael Stewart's got to trying to be at least getting it back into that zone where it doesn't work the keeper, it might take a deflection at least.
Mark McGee with Scott Leach were together at Motherwell. Mark McGee now the Aberdeen manager, and the Dons not off to a flying start, I think it's fair to say. Early days, however. A shot there as Webster and step forward just into the back of Vitavane.
That's clumsy from Andy Webster. He's never going to win it. He's got to assess the situation. Giving away 2 or 3 set pieces now, the home side, and what I think that's doing is allowing Hearts to at least put a decent ball into the box. You can see no doubt it's a free kick, but just allowing them to put a little bit of pressure on the Dundee United defence, and as I say, try and pick up some knockdowns at the edge of the box like Michael Stewart did in the previous set piece.
All right. Suso for Hearts. Weaver for Dundee United. Now Dixon. And Goodwillie was in pursuit.
You've got people stepping out there for offside when, I mean, the ball was too much, obviously overhit, but you get people stepping out when they haven't got a clue where the other centre-half is or the full-back is.
Slight edge possession-wise for Dundee United. It took a bit of time to find their rhythm, but just one or two signs in the last few minutes. They are getting their act together. Touch of the fancy stuff from Goodwillie. This is Suso. And a robust challenge by Dixon. Yes, that was the verdict of referee Steve Conroy. Egert Jonsson turns 21 tomorrow. And it's a Bua's header, and it's Witteveen. And it's better from Hearts. No two ways about that.
Yeah, it was a good header from Bua, but I think you watch Witteveen here as the ball loops in. He takes a little look at the centre-half. I think he's expecting Darren Dodds to come and absolutely clatter him. A little look there. Am I going to get hit? Am I not? You just wonder if he just really commits himself to that. It wasn't an easy chance, but it was a half chance. I'm just a bit wary of the big centre-half, going to give him a bit of a smack.
Signed Onno Bosman from Red Bull Salzburg. David Witteveen.
He's a big old lad as well, isn't he? As well as Nadi, so they've got two big physical players up there. And if you look at Bua on the left-hand side as well, you know, big strong lad, a bit of pace and guile on the right from Sousa. So it's just about getting the right quality out there, getting a bit of possession and getting the quality into the box.
Here is David Goodwillie. Scott Robertson. Sure we heard the footsteps of Witteveen. Nade. Cleverly done. Palazuelos. Jose Goncalves for Hearts. Steve Conroy considered it for a second and decided to penalise Cadamarteri. And Bua trotting over to take this one.
It's all very tight. I wonder if Hearts try and get somebody around that back, peeling around the back post.
There's David Bua, and all it needed was a touch from Jose Goncalves.
That's a cracking ball in, peach of a ball, best of the match for Hearts. Brilliant area, keeper can't come for it. Defenders backtracking towards their own goal. All it needs is a touch from Goncalves. He was only inches away. If he gets a touch, you do imagine the keeper's got no chance.
Vibrant encounter so far here on Tayside. This Monday night opener for Dundee United and Hearts. Delighted to have the pleasure of your company on ESPN. And away goes Prince Boaben, a man from Ghana, who spent part of his youth in the Netherlands. Now Swanson, he's in the mood here, Swanson. And again he goes down inside the area. Not going to get his sympathy from Steve Conroy.
Oh, again, it's brilliant play there. It's Kuarski. I mean, I think he just runs into him in the end here. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get a penalty for that. I certainly think Craig Levein will be expecting it. There you go.
Swanson, this time losing out. Witteveen to Nade. Darren Dodds had the measure of the situation. Very faint little touch on by Goodwillie. And Cadamarteri looking up to see where Gomes has positioned himself. And Kello there to field it for the visitors.
It was a lovely touch from Goodwillie. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he meant it. He's lumped up to him from Darren Dodds. Sent Cadamarteri on his way. I just feel Hearts are grinding their way back into this game, no, steadily.
Andy Webster in full view of the referee. And he's going to be called over by Steve Conroy. There's that fine line between getting it spot on and mistiming it a fraction. And he did catch Shabua.
Well, he's only just come through the back of somebody 5 minutes ago, barging into them. And I mean, this challenge was outlawed years ago. You just can't do it. I mean, it's silly at best here. He's not going to win the ball. He comes straight through the back of Abu. It's a bad challenge right down the back of the calf. Fortunately, Abu is okay, and Webster goes into the book.
It's the third yellow card of the night so far. First for Dundee United. Abua. And Weaver not encountering any difficulties. Dixon. Almost the ideal ball for Cadamarteri. Comes off the boot of Kuharski. Turned out by Dixon. Frustration for Shaba Laszlo. The Hearts are knocking on the door, Craig.
Yeah, they are. Just playing a bit better. Can't quite tell you what the hand signals were, but obviously just frustration. But I think he's got to be pleased with the last 10 minutes. Certainly been better in the first 20-25.
He does speak 5 languages, Shaba Laszlo. I don't think sign language is one of them.
As I say, they're big and powerful up front, Hearts, but they've got to get the service up there. And no doubt for the home side, Cadamarteri's the out ball. They're looking to get it into midfield, try and suck the defenders out. He spins in the channel with his pace, and a couple of times the ball's just been overhit, but he looks fit, he looks hungry, and at this level, and he still looks very quick and able to stretch defences, which of course centre-halves and full-backs hate.
Just burst onto the scene in the late 1990s with Everton, Danny Cadamarteri. We wondered then if we were watching one of the next great talents in English football. He's had his ups and downs. Vince Buabin goes down immediately by Michael Stewart. And Suso. Nade. Free kick. Greg Levine urging his players to keep the head. United leading by a goal to nil. An early penalty from Danny Cadamarteri. Webster's in trouble, Vitavane. But the goalkeeper Weaver's there, and that was crucial.
Yeah, Weaver did well second time round. This is the outball falling, big diagonal to Abua. That's 2 or 3 headers he's won. Vitavane does well round the back. The angle's always against him. It's very tight. Weaver does well to smother it.
Now David Goodwillie trying to line it up for himself. Kuharski's the player who's gone to ground, writhing in agony, the Polish defender.
Well, I mean, if it's a hit, first weekend of the SPL season, we're talking about it already. I mean, stopping, if it's a head knock, then of course you have to stop the game. And that's where Steve Conroy's got to assess it. He didn't pull it up for a free kick. He let the play go on, and then he stopped it.
I'll say, Craig, it hasn't been the easiest of first halves for a referee, has it?
Well, it's not an easy job, is it? I mean, let's be honest. In fact, at times it's a thankless task, but you know, it's been very, very strong and committed and aggressive. And there's been some good football as well. There's been some chances, and yeah, he's been kept on his toes. And Steve Conroy, as he should be.
So the drop ball to restart play here at Tannadice.
I suppose there are some decisions for the lads to talk about at half-time as well. Certainly the first one, which I felt was a penalty. Then the one from Bouzid on Cadamarteri, very, very close to being in the box. Referee saw it as no free kick.
This we'll be hearing from Ray Stubbs, Colin Hendry and Jim Duffy during the interval here on ESPN. Good Willie. Lewis has flashed in and out of this first half in the Dundee United midfield, in the creative department. Dixon. There goes Ismail Bouzid. Only just made it for Hearts tonight. There was doubt about his status. Struggling with a shoulder joint problem. Apparently, Craig, the result of sleeping the wrong way.
Yeah, I know I had a few injury problems in my career, but none from sleeping the wrong way.
I'm pleased to hear that.
I know I looked like I was sleeping half the time when I was on the field, but anyway, he's fit, he's playing.
And he's down. Probably going to have a look. Yeah.
I won't try and explain where he's holding. I think it was the left fist, I think, catches him in an area best described, well, best not described, I think. Oops, a bit of cold water in that. They always say that helps. I'm not quite sure.
Ouch.
Doesn't matter how big you are, when you get hit in a certain area, you go down. That's when you need a female physio.
It doesn't look pleasant, does it?
Just going back to the Gomez, you were talking about Gomez earlier there. He flips in and out. He's not natural playing in a wide position where he's having to play this evening, so he's not quite having the influence as I think he would like and Craig Levein would like. Of course, a lot of talk about him. Ipswich supposed to be interested. And Craig Levein adamant he's going nowhere, but money talks. And they can ill afford to lose players when Craig Levein's trying to build a squad here, a team capable of getting that third place and ruffling the feathers. Then this fella has to stay.
So Nade returns to his feet. A bit of a weight problem a year or so ago when he returned from the summer break.
I think he'll feel that for a couple of minutes, maybe a bit more, but I don't think it'll affect him playing on Nade. Well, it shouldn't do anyway, unless there's something a bit more cynical there.
So for the moment, Hearts down to 10 men. Shaba Laszlo having a quick word. Palazuelos. It's Goncalves for the Edinburgh club. And trouble there for Kovacevic. The problem was solved by Darren Dodds for Dundee United.
Well, Kovacevic tried to be clever, which is, more often than not, 99% of the times, a big no-no for any defender. He tried a little back heel, put him under pressure.
And he's back for Hearts. Palazuelos and Abua trying to place it. Weaver to the rescue, but the offside flag had gone up just as it was developing.
Decent attempt from Abua. I think Weaver again sees this a little bit late. I think the only thing he can be thankful for is not a great deal of pressure or power in it, sorry, but to be fair to Weaver, he doesn't have to do well to get down to his right-hand side.
So 5 efforts on goal by Hearts. And Weaver, in the last few minutes, has had 1 or 2 things to do. Wasn't the case in the early part of this game.
And good safeties left. Palazuelos did really well there because he had to get down low, and well, the goal attempts would tell you that Hearts are starting to find their feet in this match.
Encouragement then for Shaba Laszlo. Approaching the final minute of normal time in this first half. Good play in midfield by Boabin. Cadamarteri. Here is Good Willie. Well, Hearts get away with it. Offside flag up at the other end, and the referee has spotted it.
Well, I don't know if there's any communication here, but certainly from me, he takes that right off the feet of Prince Boban, who is falling perfectly onto his left foot. Again, Hearts were stretched. Little block there, but the initial chance from the ball in from Cadamarteri was perfect for Boban to come on, but there must have been a lack of communication.
Dixon. Cadamarteri is there on the Dundee United right. He's been shadowed by Goncalves. Added time at the end of the first 45. It will be a Hearts free kick. And there's a yellow card coming as well. We'll have 1 added minute.
1 minute added time.
Well, that's what he's got to do, Christian Nadi, and that's what Hearts have to do. No matter if he's got 2 or 3 players around him, he's a big, strong lad. Get it up to his feet, let him hold it in, suck some players in. Either, win the free kick. You can see the power he's got there. Just fends him off, get out of the way. He's big and strong. Okay, he's not under control of the ball, but he still wins the free kick.
Looking for Kovacevic. 2 cautions per side in this first half, which is rapidly coming to an end. Carter's with it. And it could have been awkward for Weaver with Nadi in the middle.
Eddington in the George Fox floor, please contact the steward. Gregor Eddington, contact the steward.
Away goes Good Willie. Kowalski, the covering defender. David Good Willie. Misfiring. An open, entertaining first half here at Tannadice, and Danny Cadamarteri in his first SPL match celebrating with a goal after only 3 minutes. That after Egert Jonsson put in an errant challenge on Danny Swanson inside the penalty area. Hearts, though, are biting back and are still very much in it. No doubt about that. The penalty from Cadamarteri, the old head, doing the job for his new club. Half-time score then here on Tayside is Dundee United 1, Heart of Midlothian 0.
Included in our feast of football on ESPN this weekend is the Bundesliga game between last season's surprise package Hoffenheim. They finished 7th. They take on the side that finished 1 place below them, Schalke. Our coverage begins from 7:30 on Friday night. Dundee United 1, Hearts 0. Colin Hendry and Jim Duffy here in the studio. Great start for Dundee United. No doubt at all it was a penalty.
Well, first of all, I thought he maybe just left a kind of lazy leg out, and the striker falls over it. But Egert Jonsson is not a natural fullback. He's a midfield player converted there because of circumstances. He does leave the leg. He invites the challenge, the striker to go over it, and I think it's soft, but I do think it's the correct decision.
Cadamarteri, great start. If ever you wanted to start well for a new club.
He stepped up to the plate, the lad, to be fair. He's looking to try and get off the mark pretty quickly. He's been a handful the whole first half. He's not lost a header for the size of the player that he is. And he's had a great start.
Jim, were you impressed with him?
Yeah, I think his movement's been very good. I mean, he's been instrumental, obviously, in all the good things that have happened with Dundee United in the first half. Him and Good Willie have interchanged. They've tried to get in behind. He stuck one away, and he probably should have got a second penalty.
Well, we'll all agree this was a foul, but should it have been a second penalty?
I think so. I mean, it's always given, the benefit's always given to the attacking player. And how come there wasn't even a free kick? Ray is just beyond everyone in the studio here. We can't believe it. So if it's not a penalty kick, it's got to be a free kick.
Yeah, I think it's right on the line, and if it's right on the line, that's a penalty kick.
Yeah.
And for the assistant, who's not blocked off, the referee's in a very good position not to give it. It's very, very surprising, but it'll not be the last controversial decision we have this season, Ray.
Yep. Early in the game, what was at the heart of Hearts' frustration, do you feel?
I think they were disjointed, to be fair. I think that's where Michael Stewart ended up getting booked. He couldn't get his foot in the ball, he couldn't find a pass, and they had a hard time at the back. The back four looked disjointed, and because of that, in the middle of the park, they too were disjointed as well. And look at that there, there's a free kick, that's a booking, and that was coming.
Yeah, I think that Michael's the type of player who likes to get on the ball and likes to play passes, you know, and he likes to orchestrate from the midfield. He wasn't getting on the ball at all, and therefore he gets a bit rash, and he does have that in his game.
Yeah, but they got back in the game. Was that Dundee United letting them off the hook?
I think they got back in the game because of the amount of free kicks they give away. I think all the chances that Hearts have had, attempts on target, have came from free kicks given away by Dundee United. I think Craig will be into them at half time about that, because it's cheap. There you go again, just inside their half, there's a free kick comes over, and I mean they nearly score from there. So that's the problem that Dundee United's had in the first half.
I mean, well, Hearts are a big side. They've got the 4 big guys at the back. They've got 2 big strikers. Palazuelos is over 6 foot, so you don't want to just invite the pressure. This is lovely play from Abur. You know, he doesn't try to smash the ball. He tries to guide it. There's not too much space. And Nicky Weaver's had 2 or 3 very good saves. He's a very shrewd acquisition for Craig Levein.
Everything to play for. The managers will be trying to work their magic in the dressing room at half-time. Handshake before the game. Laszlo and Levein, everything to play for. Got to get their teams up for the second half. Major League Baseball action tonight on ESPN features the New York Yankees, who've won 11 out of their last 12. They take that impressive run of form to the Seattle Mariners. Yankees top of the East League, Seattle third in the West. That's at midnight, and it is followed at 3 a.m. by the St. Louis Cardinals at the LA Dodgers. In tonight's SPL game at Tannadice, it's Dundee United 1, Hearts 0. A fact. Only Rangers were awarded more penalties than Dundee United last season, 9-7. What needs to happen in the second half? Colin Hendry, if you're in the Dundee United dressing room, what are you saying, or what are you shouting, or what are you screaming, or are you being very calm and collected?
No, I think Craig will have his issues in there about the volume of free kicks given away. Because every time they have given a free kick away, it's ended up with a chance for Hearts. And I just think they need to be a bit more patient in their challenges. Especially in and around the halfway line, because it is virtually a big lump up the park and it's given them problems.
Well, a crowd waiting for the players in the second half. Jim, from a Hearts perspective, what are they going to do? What should they do?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, Shaba Laszlo will be quite happy that it's only 1-0, because it could have been, we're saying that it could have been a second penalty and the game could have been all over. But the last 15 minutes would have given him a lot of encouragement. His team created some chances, asked questions of the Dundee United goalkeeper, and I think he'll be looking to start the game a little bit more positively. I would like to see maybe Palazuelos getting forward a little bit more to support the strikers. I think he's been a little bit ineffectual, and Sousa has really had been starved of the ball.
Just quickly, what do you think of Sousa?
Yeah, well, I said he's only one run really with the ball, and he got brought down.
Hendry's laughing.
He'll not get any protection in this league. And I mean, continental type player, he would get protection abroad, but he'll not get any protection. And when he did gesticulate for the yellow card, I think it was out of order.
Right, let's get back to our commentators, Craig Burley and Derek Ray.
And the Hearts players returning to the pitch here at Tannadice, day fast becoming night on this Monday. Marvellous new floodlight system installed here at Tannadice during the summer. Danny Cadamarteri putting his name in lights with the early goal from the spot. Craig Levein, the man in charge of Dundee United, once the man in charge of Hearts. Shaba Laszlo certainly let everyone know what he thought about the course of events towards the end of the first half with the body language. The Hearts, make no mistake about it, are still very much in this. Asking questions of Dundee United towards the end of the first 45. Away we go then. The second half begins. And forward by Goncalves. Handed away was by Andy Webster. Andy Webster holds the distinction of being the only player in Scottish football with a transfer clause named after him. Good Willie running into Kucharski. And Dixon. Movement from Cadamarteri. Scott Robertson. And it's put through again to Robertson. And Calvez with a big thump away. Well, Craig, what sort of second half do you expect to see?
Well, I hope it's as entertaining as the first. Obviously, the game got off to a cracking start, not for Chabo Laszlo, who was frustrated. His side came back into the game as it went on. I think Craig Levein will be really pleased with the middle part of that first half where they passed it well, but just to reiterate what the lads were saying, they started making silly challenges at the back. Webster went through 2 players, was booked for the second, and it just gave the impetus back to Hearts, where they stuck some decent free kicks in and put Dundee United under a bit of pressure.
Dixon. With last season's anything to go by, Dundee United are odds-on favourites to pick up 3 points tonight, because on 8 occasions they had the lead at the break. 7 of those 8 occasions they went on to win. Witteveen. Suso trying to cushion it. There's Prince Bouaben. Morgano Gomes. And right on the shoulder of Ismail Bouzi. And, well, it's probably apt that we mention the shoulder, because that's what was bothering him ahead of the game.
That was a good defending from Bouzi. I wonder if there was a little tug here from Gomez. 61, half a dozen. Brilliant defending, lovely play from United, good one-touch football, good movement.
Danny Swanson for Dundee United, and Kello's there to take it cleanly.
The 2 vehicles in Smith Street, please return to your vehicle as our head Proton SP06.
France will fly to Croatia tomorrow in advance of their match against Dinamo Zagreb, Europa League playoff round first leg. Just looking at the fixture list, it's by no means an easy one for the Edinburgh club in the first few weeks of the campaign in all competitions.
No, it's not been kind to them, especially when they've got to go to Zagreb and then obviously Rangers as well.
Suso with space. It smacks into the gloves of Nicky Weaver. Now then, I don't know if the referee saw it.
The referee's in no position to give it because he's looking straight at it. And it's the referee's assistant who has to be in line with it, but I can tell you, he wasn't in line with it, he was just strolling out. I think the ball was just inside, but anyway.
Now it's Suso for Hearts. David Apua, and Weaver spread-eagled. He did more than enough.
Hearts fans, I can tell you, beneath us folks, are absolutely furious.
Now it's Scott Robertson. Cadamarteri continues his battle with Bouzi. The referee saw nothing wrong.
Left arm of Bouzi, that's the second time, good defending. The arm did come up, just smashed Cadamarteri out of the way. We see it as a free kick though.
Cadamarteri tries again. And the shot didn't have the desired accuracy. Prince Bouaben letting fly.
Well, I just wonder if he slips here coming out. Nicky Weaver, he does, you can see clearly there, and ball still in. Referee's assistant wasn't up with it anyway, he was strolling out. Then he's got to make amends from it here. It's another good save down low, bails himself out of trouble, decent ball in. But again, it's of the home side's making.
Cadamarteri, a little bit of contact there. Michael Stewart was with Cadamarteri. I'll repeat what I said at the end of the first half, Craig. It hasn't been an easy match for the referee.
No, because as I say, first game of the season, they really want to stamp their authority in the game, both sides.
Comes off the head of Abua. 5 minutes into the second half, still it's Dundee United leading Hearts by a goal to nil in our very first Clydesdale Bank Premier League match on ESPN. Robertson trying to lead to Cadamarteri. He was anticipating that Goodwillie would run onto it on the right flank.
Oh, just a lack of awareness there, Derek, from Cadamarteri. He's had a fine game, but he really could have taken that on, and he could have had a switch as well to Danny Swanson, who is just having a word with Cadamarteri as we see Hearts about to make a substitution.
Vidas Novikovas might well have a role to play. Now danger here. Well, somehow it didn't go in. Somehow it stayed out. David Goodwillie is bursting forward, and it remains 1-0 to the home side.
And again, it's that ball down the channel, and I know it's a tight angle, and it's all ifs and buts, and I suppose he saw the net bulging, but can you blame him from going for it? Well, I think Danny Cadamarteri might be saying, look, I think you should be picking your head up there and just, you know, laying it back, and I'll stick it into an empty net. Bit of inexperience.
Michael Stewart right in front of the referee. And Robertson, and Stewart was booked earlier, and he knows now what his fate will be. Steve Conroy calling over the Hearts captain. Palazuelos wants to have his say, but the decision has already been taken. And it is a second yellow card for Michael Stewart, and if Hearts are to take anything from this opening fixture, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Well, I think it's frustration again, but I mean, there's no excuses. He's experienced, he's the club skipper, it's the first game, they've got injury problems, they've not really got a foothold in the game. He is a key player, he's got to be making better decisions than that. He knows he's booked, it's early in the second half, Derek, you just can't do that. Steve Conroy, no choice, Hearts down to 10 men.
He's named captain of Hearts, Michael Stewart, in preference to Marius Zaliukas, who incidentally is suspended this evening, serving a 4-match domestic ban. He will be available for the game in Croatia for Shaba Laszlo's team.
And it wasn't the worst challenge I've ever seen in the world, was it? I mean, I wouldn't say it was dangerous, but you're giving the referee a decision to make, and that, you know, he's got to be brighter than that, Michael Stewart.
Here's Vitavane for Hearts. Not the most polished effort. Ian Black is going to make an appearance, the 24-year-old who was signed on a free transfer from Inverness Caledonian Thistle, but relegated at the end of last season.
Well, we're just hearing he's taking Vitavane off, who is the player that's just been dropping off nowadays, really. So one of the strikers, if you want to call them that, have to settle for coming off to get that extra man in midfield, a natural midfielder, and Ian Black, who is very combative. But that was stupidity from Michael Stewart.
Certainly going to be one of the big post-match stories in the Hearts camp. The sending off of Michael Stewart. I suppose in the old days, the referee might have been able to use what was often deemed common sense to talk to the player and say, OK, I'm watching you. I could have sent you off, but I'm not going to. But these days, almost seems as though the instructions are such that the referees don't have any wiggle room. Hearts with 10 men, trying to battle back. Christian Nade. United trying to use their numerical superiority. Passed by Swanson to Goodwillie. It's a goal kick.
Well, in adversity, sometimes you learn a lot about your players. And with the best part of 35 minutes to go, Shaba Laszlo's certainly going to find out about his group of players. This is the first challenge. And the yellow card for Michael Stewart. That's the second one. Stupid from behind. There's no need to make it. He knows he's on a yellow card. You can tell by his reaction there. Steve Conroy right on it. Second yellow. Red for the skipper. Hearts down to 10 men.
Off has gone David Vitavane. On has come Ian Black, another of the Hearts new boys. should give the Edinburgh side plenty of bite in the midfield area. Nade on his own now up front, as you would expect, Craig.
Yeah, and even more now, they need to get a bit of decent quality up to him because he is on his own.
Pushes off Andy Webster. And Darren Dodds. It's Palazuelos trying to win it back. Swanson over the top. Prince Boabin. Swanson. There's Dixon, the left back. Paul Dixon is trying to go around the outside.
Well, he's never going to get a free kick for that in a month of Sundays. He's looking for it. He's shepherded out well here. Little look, arm goes across, not a great deal in it. Back nothing in it. I thought Black, who's come on, Derek might have had a good case for starting the game in there with Michael Stewart. Likes to get his foot in. Same from Cali. Can play a bit as well.
Look at Abua, proving that he can play a bit. Nade has had it taken away from him. Police have gone back to buttress the Dundee United defence. Swanson. Cadamarteri. His penalty goal remains the difference here at Tannadice. And Calves. Right on to Danny Cadamarteri. That will be a hard throw.
I think they've looked quite lively up front, Dundee United. Goodwillie, who's promised much for a couple of years, but he's been in and out the side, and Cadamarteri's had a very bright debut in the SPL. Looks sharp, looks hungry, and of course they've got that option to hit the ball in behind the Hearts defence if they need so because of his pace. So a very good option for them.
Darren Dodds. In space for Dixon on the Dundee United left. Into Goodwillie. Trying to direct it towards goal. Finally driven away by Goncalves.
Yeah, very good ball in here. First time, just whipped across. Good little run as well, across the front of the defender. And in the end, you have to say it was defended pretty well under a bit of pressure.
Mihail Kovacevic with the throw. Now Danny Swanson. Kovacevic. And troubled on that occasion, Marion Kello. If you have recently joined us here on ESPN, Hearts are down to 10. Captain Michael Stewart sent off Shaba Laszlo, and Hearts playing a man short.
I think he wants him to push on, Derek, because there's no point leaving Nade 20-30 yards with nobody near him, because you've got to get up and support him. 10 men or not, you've got to try and get back in this game, Hearts. I mean, Abu has been a good outball for them. Sousa's not really been in the game. I know the lads mentioned him at half-time. You know, he's got to do a bit more, both in defence and going forward.
Here's Suso. And down he goes inside the area. Looking for the penalty, not getting it. Sure, Craig, what your initial reaction was?
Well, I mean, I think your words said it all. I mean, looking for the penalty. I mean, the one thing he did do, at least here, was drive in and be positive. I mean, he's committing players, he's in the box. You can see Steve Conroy's position. I mean, he's looking straight at it. Well, I think he's got half a shout for a penalty there, to be fair to him.
One of those that could be given. Goodwillie, but the offside flag has gone up.
I mean, you wouldn't have called it a stone waller, but, you know, I think if you're a Hearts fan and you're watching this game, then you might feel a bit aggrieved you didn't get that there.
Novi Kovas is going to come on. Let's have another look at Suso.
I mean, I think if it's Quinn that sticks his right leg out there, then, or Kovacevic, sorry, they've got more problems, but Anyway, Steve Conroy was in a very good position. Didn't give it.
That's another talking point for Ray, Colin and Jim back in the studio at full time. Should tell you, by the way, that Michael Stewart was sent off here at Tannadice back in January of 2008. Hearts received 11 red cards last season. Now they've got 1 in this new campaign. Michael Stewart ordered off again. Abua, a languid Ugandan. He was being buffeted.
There's something about him, Abua. I mean, he's got a decent touch, hasn't he? You mentioned that word languid. He's awkward looking, but he also gives him that option at the back post. He's a big lad. As I say, on that diagonal, he's won a couple of headers in the first half.
Taken by Goncalves. Suso. Sneaking in that time was Kovacevic. Important intervention. Johnson using Bouzid. Once again, showing a bit more verve, even though they are down to 10 men. Suso. Is he to be the Hearts' trump card in their first fixture? Well, not with shooting like that.
Well, what he's doing, Suso, he's going on a bit of a wander. He's not getting much of the ball on that right-hand side, so he's coming onto the left, he's drifting in, which is fine when Hearts have got it. If they lose it, though, there will be space for Dundee United. But look at the space he's found to sell in. At least he can try and affect the game from there. Very poor effort, one that certainly doesn't please his manager.
That's not why he signed Suso. Kucharski. So recorded 11 wins in the last 19 visits here to Tannadice. On the wrong end of the scoreline as we speak.
It's been a good response from Hearts, hasn't it, since Michael Stewart was sent off. Taking Vitaven off, who was dropping off Nadi. They brought on Ian Black, combative midfielder. Chabo Laszlo's gesticulating with his players. He wants them to squeeze up, push up. He wants them to get closer to Nadi. They're starting to affect the game. 1 or 2 half chances.
Clash of heads involving Webster and Nade. Nade coming off second best now. Abua. Trying to skin Kovacevic. Suso for Hearts. There's good Willie. Commitment from Kucharski. His first official game for the Tynecastle club. Ian Black now. Johnson was found wanting early on in this game, conceding the penalty. It was finished off by Cadamarteri.
I can just sense a bit of frustration around Tannadice now from the home fans. 1 or 2 passes with the extra man, still going astray. Ball's up to the striker, not been held up, coming back. Just allowing Hearts to compose themselves, get themselves back in the game, build a bit of confidence, get some set pieces like this one. Something that in the first half they did cause 1 or 2 problems with.
Suso with the Hearts free kick. Wabben had gone back. Wabben, who seconds ago received a word of warning from referee Steve Conroy. Timely tackle it was by Kucharski. Had a fair bit of ground to cover. Kovacevic. Darren Dodds across the Dundee United defence. The mistake was by Dixon. Suso. Keep hold of the ball. And offside against the on-rushing Danny Cadamarteri.
It just goes a bit early there. And certainly what I will say, Craig Levine's frustrated, but the 2 Hearts centre-halves certainly look as if they've taken 45 minutes to get to know each other. Looked a bit all at sea in the first half, but certainly performing a little bit better in this second half.
And Weaver, a bit slow in reacting. Bua was the player trying to make up a bit of ground. It will be a corner.
See, I don't think the goalkeeper's got to come for that there. I think that's one of those where he just lets his defenders deal with the situation.
Can Hearts make one of these deliveries count? Ian Black with the latest one. It comes to Ruben Palazuelos. Dundee United on the counter-attack. They've carried menace when they have played on the counter-attack, and Ian Black puts the boot in on Swanson. And we have a flashpoint with pushing and shoving here at Tannadice, and this is one for referee Steve Conroy to sort out. And Craig Levein just metres away from that incident. Now, how is he going to resolve this? This all happened in a blink of an eye.
Well, I didn't see enough for a straight red card here. I think Hearts will want to make it an aggressive game, but they can ill afford to go down to 9. I didn't see anything that would suggest that it'll be no more than a yellow card for somebody.
And Sousa being called over.
There's no punches thrown there anyway, that's for sure. It was all that sort of handbag stuff and a little bit of pushing. Yep.
Yellow card for Sousa, yellow card for Black. And Swanson is going to have his name taken as well.
Yeah, so yeah, I thought that would be the case. I mean, they're all bunched together. There must have been a good 12 or 15 players in there, but it was nothing really untoward. A little bit, much of it, nothing there really.
The crime count is rising. Midway through the second half. 11 against 10. Michael Stewart sent packing, the Hearts captain. His first official match as the Hearts captain. Kovacevic. So Sousa was cautioned, as was Ian Black. As well for Danny Swanson. Hearts chasing this game. It's offside. Sousa was the miscreant.
Well, it was a tight one. He might just have went a little bit early. He's not quite in line with it. Very tight. He might have just been half a yard off. The linesman's flag goes straight up, but it was borderline. I think Hearts are just getting in the face of Dundee United, upsetting their rhythm, and that will suit Hearts going down to 10 men. They'll feel that there might be something in this game for them.
Craig Conway is going to come on for Dundee United in a second or two. Time onside, and I've carved out a free kick. Swanson's been busy this evening. It was turned back towards goal by Webster. Cadamarteri, in sprightly fashion, wins the corner.
So if I was Kello in goals for Hearts, I don't think I'd want, from a set piece that far out, my defenders dropping as deep as they were. I mean, they were almost on the 6-yard line when the ball was delivered in, and he's got to be screaming at them to get out and squeeze out. They've got to be somewhere near the edge of the box there.
Swanson for Dundee United, and Kello just managing to get a touch on the ball. Good header by Robertson. Swanson. Danny Swanson. Bua getting in the way. It'll be another corner. Danny Swanson prepared for this new season by running around Arthur's Seat quite a bit, running up and down Arthur's Seat as well. Arthur's Seat, one of the Edinburgh landmarks. He is an Edinburgh boy. Swanson, and Kello elects to punch. It's come to Scott Robertson. Still the danger hasn't been cleared. And wide it goes off the boot of Cadamarteri.
It was a good block from Abu there. A bit worrying the amount of room Scott Robertson had at the edge of the box. Could bring it down his chest. Had plenty of time on the volley.
And Black trying to tidy up. But it's a gruelling week for Hearts. They'll have to travel to Croatia after this. A few fans will be travelling with them to Croatia for the Europa League meeting with Dinamo Zagreb. Game on Thursday. And then it's Rangers in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League coming up on Sunday. That'll be at Tynecastle. Splavin. Good Willie. It's back to goal for Dundee United. Now Black.
No out ball, Derek. Nothing to hit there for Black. Didn't want to take a chance dwelling on the ball. Had to get out his own half, but Nadi was so deep that he just had to punt it up that right-hand channel. This is what United will want to do. I mean, they just want to pop it round, get Hearts chasing the ball, take the sting out of the game. Just probe and look for that second and not do anything stupid.
United hold the whip hand in terms of the scoreline and in terms of the personnel. Quick reminder about our Barclays Premier League coverage next weekend on ESPN. We start on Sunday with the London derby, West Ham against Tottenham, Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And then on Monday, Liverpool against Aston Villa from Anfield. We kick off at 7 p.m. Remember, for all your football news, log on to the website espnsoccernet.com. And a tussle between Goodwillie and Kucharski. And now on will come Craig Conway, and he'll take the place of Danny Swanson. And the Dundee United supporters very appreciative of the effort put in by Swanson. He's got himself involved. And I suppose you could say, Craig, they are rivals for that position, Swanson and Conway. And the fact is, Swanson had a much better pre-season than did Craig Conway.
Yeah, and Conway is just a bit short of fitness. I thought Swanson had a pretty good game. He obviously was very direct and won the penalty. Wasn't even 3 minutes on the clock by driving in and tempting the challenge from Egert Jonsson, which was very sloppy, let's be fair. Gave Cadamarteri the chance to put them in the lead, and that's all that separates the side. But a good chance for Craig Conway to come on, get a bit of match sharpness and have an effect in this game.
Darren Dodds. Robertson. Gomes. Free kick. He's catching Palazuelos.
I think this might be Hearts' best opportunity. We've talked about the set pieces. I mean, again, sending the big guys forward. Try and put the home side under a bit of pressure. They've got some big players, Hearts.
And Hearts take advantage of that height. If Andy Webster has things his way. Willie still complaining he had been impeded. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining. Conway, who's just come on for Swanson. And Dixon. Over everyone, including David Goodwillie.
Decent ball in there. Might have been expecting Margamo Gomez to get in that right-hand channel at the back, but not being a naturally wide player. Didn't track in, didn't make the run into the back post where he might have just found himself in a bit of space.
There's a sobering thought for Hearts fans. Last season they scored just 12 times away from Tynecastle in in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. Here they are, first game of the new season, in need of a goal as they try to take something from this initial game. Cadamarteri. Kovacevic. And Darren Dodds trying to roar onto it. United concentrating on keeping possession. Just giving the ball away. It was the captain, Darren Dodds. What can Hearts do with it now that they have it? Palazuelos. No takers.
Nadi didn't even attempt to get in the box there. I mean, he looks like a spent force to me. He's not moving particularly well. He looks absolutely shattered.
Webster. That is Nade inside the area. It was on just for a second as it came to Ian Black. Palazuelos. He was crowded out. Conway. Dixon. Conway. Fantastic play by Conway. Just couldn't quite pick out a teammate. It was Bouzid who got his head to it for Hearts. Thoughts on Michael Stewart, by the way, was his 4th red card in the space of the last 21 months. No let up here from Dundee United. It's Conway, and it's Goodwillie! And it's a fantastic save by Marianne Kello to concede the corner.
Yeah, great save, but he shouldn't be allowed to make it. It should be in the back of the net. Consalves doesn't track the run here. Lets Goodwillie go. Arms up, no man's land. Plenty of time there just to watch it come across his body and get the instep on it. Be fair to the keeper, did very well.
Conway will take this one. Dundee United. Dodds jockeying for position inside the area. Oh, and it does come off the woodwork. Andy Webster was there at the far post for the Tayside club.
Yeah, the angle's always against him here. Just wonder as we see Nadi coming off whether Dundee United will rue that miss, but he's not had much to go on. He's a big old lad, he's worked hard, he's put himself about, he's had some poor quality up to him at times, and he looks absolutely shattered to me, and I think Csaba Laszlo was right to make the change.
Vidas Novikovas has come on. Have you talked to some of the key people at Hearts? They'll rave about Novikovas, the Lithuanian. Made his SPL debut on the final day of last season. Palazuelos looking for Abua. That's a bit better from Abua. Now Suso. And Dixon did his job. Conway just dallying on the ball. Tense finish in store here. Now then, Kovacevic going across there to meet Novikovas. So absolutely nothing wrong. Goncalves and Suso. For a second it looked as though he was in. Behind for the corner by Dixon.
Oh, it's a great ball in, and it's a really, really poor first touch, because if he gets this out his feet here, one touch and strike. At this level, your touch has got to be better than that.
Well, it's a tale of what might have been for Csaba Laszlo and Hearts. Dundee United making a change here. Sean Dillon coming on for Mikhail Kovacevic. Hearts trying to make a late push. And it's Goncalves trying to swing the leg around. And they're making a respectable fist of this.
Well, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, they'll feel they can still get something out of this game.
Good Willie chasing. The Dundee United throw, confirmation of the change. Sean Dillon, the Irishman, on for Mikhail Kovacevic, the Swiss-born fullback. Gomes. We'll watch with interest in the weeks ahead. We'll see if Gomes remains a Dundee United player. United are in debt to the tune of around £5.5 million. So if a fair offer comes in, he might well find himself somewhere else, perhaps south of the border. Ipswich Town, managed these days by Roy Keane, have been showing an interest.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? I mean, came from Cowdenbeath here. He's acquitted himself very well.
A foul throw. Decision here by Steve Conroy. Johnson was the guilty party. Dixon. And Craig Conway. Sean Dillon. Enjoyed going home to Ireland for part of the pre-season. Richard Jeffries is here, the Kilmarnock manager. Great start for Kelly. 3-0 win over Hamilton at the weekend. And all 7 SPL managers in attendance. Little flick by Conway. And Bouzid. He's catching Cadamarteri beside the touchline.
It's a challenge you didn't have to make, Derek, because Cadamarteri wasn't really going anywhere there. And again, it's just allowing Dundee United to take a bit of sting out of the game, waste a little bit of time, and more importantly, put a decent bit of quality in from the left-hand side.
Not quite in the bag just yet for Craig Levine's side. Conway. Difficult one, really. Darren Dodds has had to reach back. And we'll be seeing this gentleman on Saturday. John Hughes, the manager of Hibernian, he's off to get ready for Saturday. And a trip to Falkirk, of course, the team he used to manage. We'll walk you from the Falkirk Stadium this weekend.
Just nicked off to miss the traffic. Is he going to miss a comeback from Hearts? Certainly the signs are that they're getting closer as the game's going on, and of course the home side start getting a bit tetchy as get in the final 7 or 8 minutes.
Ian Black with a free kick for the 10 men of Hearts. Gomes. Oh, look at this. Cadamarteri has the freedom of Tannadice Park, and Danny Cadamarteri in his first SPL game has scored not once but twice. And Dundee United are odds on now to start the league season with a victory.
Well, it's a finish of a player who has played at the highest level. I mean, Craig Levine will be delighted by exposing the counter-attack as well as he did. But I suppose you've got to look at Hearts. They want to get back into the game. He's in his own half, so there's no talk about offside. I mean, the keeper, he's committed himself, he's out, there's an empty net, but he composes himself, he slows himself down, he's got the presence in mind and he's aware there's a gaping goal there. And then it goes for his second goal of the game. Dundee United second, Cadamarteri second, and Hearts pushing forward, looking for that equaliser. Left themselves badly exposed. Credit Dundee United, that man took advantage.
Welcome to Scotland, Danny Cadamarteri. Makes grim reading from the Hearts' point of view. In truth, they were always going to be up against it once Michael Stewart, the captain, was sent off. Cadamarteri has given Dundee United so much know-how, and this is first official game for the club. And he has celebrated with an impressive 2-goal contribution.
I think the goalkeeper thought he was going to get there, Derek, to be fair, and he had a decision to make. He realised they had big problems. But it's early days, Derek, and Danny Cadamarteri's Dundee United career, and I hate to go over the top of people after one game, but certainly early signs, and looking at him tonight, I'm talking to Craig Levein, he's here for the right reasons, he's fit, he's sharp, and his job's done.
Look at the delight on the face of Cadamarteri there, as he is replaced by Andy Shala. As though he's enjoyed himself. Shala, by the way, the German-born striker of Croatian heritage. Started the final pre-season game for Dundee United, the 2-0 win against Blackburn. Time is very much against part of Midlothian. They won 2 of the 4 SPL fixtures against Dundee United last season. But it hasn't clicked for them tonight. And United in search of a third, Prince Boabin. Kello takes the weight off the shot.
And a good strike, swerving a little bit. Went to the keeper's right, then swerved over to his left, did well actually.
Scurrying forward, Dixon. And Conway has moved into the centre. Prince Boabin is possessed by Ian Black. And Parasuelos, Suso, the 2 Spaniards in tandem. Kovas trying to win the corner. And just coming off Sean Dillon. And the corner it is. Hearts make it interesting. Suso. And that's the turn of Goncalves. And that's a useful ball. Oh, wonder stop. Brilliant stop by Nicky Weaver. It was excellent stuff from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a great ball in again, and well, from that distance, with the ball right on your head, from Jonsson, got to head that down, simple as that. He looked to me as if he was trying to cushion that there when he really should be going and sticking his forehead through it and looking for power.
Suso with his latest corner. Jonsson coming close with a header. Suso again. Could chisel his way through. All hands on deck for Dundee United.
There's been a couple of really poor decisions for Hearts tonight. The first one was very early when Jonsson dangled a leg out very lazily for me on Swanson, gave the penalty away. And then obviously Michael Stewart making a very rash decision, getting his second yellow, getting sent off and putting his colleagues and his teammates under pressure, going down to 10 men, and then really up against it after that. So I think their manager, when we speak to him after, will be very disappointed about that. It'll be interesting to see what he's got to say.
That's incidentally, Craig, have been allowed to warm down after the match. Dundee United giving them permission as they try to recover the Hearts players in time for the trip to Croatia. Dying embers of this opening Monday night match for Dundee United and Hearts. And no problems that time for Kello. And Hearts now wearing the look of a defeated side. They have had their moments in this game, but it hasn't all been doom and gloom. Just not sufficiently opportunistic. And Black sticking to Gomes almost like glue. Black indicating that he was pulling out of the challenge.
And Black actually had a little sneaky kick at him about 10 seconds before that. Just got to be careful.
Fourth officials indicating the 2 minutes.
match then.
With a heavy schedule coming up, Derek, as Hearts have, the one thing you want is your skipper and your key player, Michael Stewart, making better decisions than he made tonight. And that has really, as I say, put his team under pressure, not only for tonight, but for the games coming up. But for Dundee United, there's some encouraging signs, I would say. They've still got strikers missing in Sandaza and John Daly and one or two others. They've got players to come back. Can they hold on to Gomez? And can they keep the man of the moment, Cadamarteri, fit and supplied with the type of service he's had tonight?
We've also got club captain Lee Wilkie coming back before long. Central defender. This is Novi Kovas. The turn was by Abua. It will be a corner.
I think you're right about Hearts. I mean, whilst they haven't played anything like their best, they've still been very much in this game at times until Cadamarteri dispatched that second goal, but there have been half chances for them.
So with it. Conway is trying to trap the ball. Suso. Dodds doing his job. So many question marks ahead of this game. That applied to both sides. So many new players to be bedded in. It was reasonable to ask what sort of match we would see. Well, it's been an open game, it's been a vibrant game, it's been an enjoyable match to watch. And you've got to say, especially enjoyable from the Dundee United point of view. They are not normally quick starters. The facts bear that out. Just one victory in the last 9 initial matches in the SPL. Good Willie holding it up. Dixon. Almost at the 3-minute mark in added time now. And then by Dodds to Weaver. Still, the referee lets the play flow.
Well, he must be enjoying it.
And 93 minutes and counting.
He did put 2 minutes up, Derek, didn't he?
It was 2 on the board, yeah. There it is, full time at Tannadice. And a dream start for the Tangerines, especially for this man, Danny Cadamarteri, scoring twice in his SPL debut. And well, he might celebrate. Just the sort of beginning Craig Levein wanted to see, just the sort of performance he wanted to get from Cadamarteri. Hearts did ask 1 or 2 questions of Dundee United in the second half, but just couldn't put the half chances away. They weren't helped, of course, by the fact that Michael Stewart was given his marching orders after his second bookable offence. So there we have it from Tannadice. Very much hope you've enjoyed our coverage. The full-time score in this Clydesdale Bank Premier League fixture: Dundee United 2, Hearts 0.
And wall-to-wall football on ESPN this weekend. We begin with the Bundesliga game between Hoffenheim against Schalke. That's Friday night, 7:30. Saturday lunchtime and midday, the SPL returns, Falkirk versus Hibs. Serie A kicks off on Saturday night, included on the opening fixture list, Siena versus last season's runners-up AC Milan. Our coverage starts at 7:45. At midnight, Major League Soccer action from America with David Beckham's LA Galaxy away at DC United. On Sunday, we're at Upton Park for the Barclays Premier League game between West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspur. Both teams winning their opening fixtures. We start at 12:30 lunchtime. That's followed at 5 with the Italian champions Inter Milan against Bari. And ESPN's Monday Night Football is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Both teams lost their opening matches. Next up, reaction to tonight's SPL result. Dundee United 2, Hearts 0, the final score. Only the second time Dundee United have won an opening match of the season in a decade. And debut boy Danny, the SOS, the star of the show. Dundee United 2, Hearts 0 at Tannadice. Danny Cadamarteri scoring both goals. He is the man of the match, he is the star of the show, and boy did he enjoy himself. And here he is, he's with Andy Webster and ESPN's Daryl Curry.
Thank you, Ray. Andy, that's a great start to the season, isn't it?
Yeah, we played well. We knew it'd be a difficult match. Hearts are a very good side. Got a good bunch of players, and we've worked hard for the victory tonight.
And for you as well, you've had your injury problems, of course, over the years, but how's everything feeling? Because you looked as if you were cruising through that game at times.
Well, I don't know about cruising, but it's nice to play, get 90 minutes, and as I say, playing in a good side like United, it makes it a bit easier.
And sweet to get one over your old team?
Nah, that's not important for me. What's done in the past is gone, and just looking to the future now, and hopefully doing well for Dundee United.
Danny, this SPL's easy, isn't it?
Wouldn't go as far as to say that. Obviously glad to come up here and get an opportunity to play games in the top flight. And we put in a shift today, and unfortunately the lads have created goals for me.
It just couldn't have started any better for you, though, could it?
Probably not. I think young Swanee's done excellent to get the opportunity and go down in the box, and just the first person to snatch the ball. So like I said, apart from that, we've grafted hard as a team, and we've worked hard in pre-season, and it's paid off a little bit tonight.
You've seen what Hearts have. Do you really think you can now push on this season and take that third place?
We've got to go out there and try and do that. It's no good talking about it early on in the season. We've got a good result tonight. We've worked hard against a good team in the SPL. We've now got to go out there and replicate that for the rest of the season. And if we can do that, then I think we're as good as anyone. And
it must be nice having guys like that running around all night in front of you, giving you an out ball.
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier for people to pick out passes. If they're showing him and Goody have done exceptionally well tonight, worked extremely hard, and obviously Kaz has got his reward with the 2 goals.
Well, Danny, you are the Clydesdale Bank man of the match. Andy, can I ask you to do the honours, please?
Well done, Kaz.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Right, well done.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Colin Hendry and Jim Duffy watched the match. Well, great start for Dundee United and a great start for Cadamarteri. If there's ever a way to get the fans on your side, it's scoring after 3 minutes.
He was buzzing, wasn't he? He enjoyed himself tonight, and I'm delighted for him because he, even without scoring goals, he worked extremely hard, and he deserves accolade.
29 years of age, this is a great opportunity for him to really make something of his career later on.
Yeah, of course. He needs his teammates to help him when Danny Swanson gets the penalty, but he wanted the responsibility. He knows how important it is for a striker to go off the mark. His record over the years has not been great as a goal scorer. I think it's about almost 1 in every 10 games.
Second penalty, Jim, surely.
But, yeah, I think this is an absolute stonewaller. I think he skipped past the defender. Defender's brought his right leg up, brought him down. You see here, look, his right legs, tracked him down. It's right on the line for me, and I think it's a penalty. Steve Conroy, I don't know why he didn't give that one, but that could have been a game-setting match at that time.
Hearts got themselves back in the game towards the end of the first half. They had chances, and I'd imagine at half-time they're saying, we're back in this. And the start of 7 minutes into the second half, their captain gets a second yellow card, off he goes, and we have to question his responsibility, his decision-making, surely.
He was frustrated. You could see how frustrated he was in the initial periods of the first half. There's the initial yellow booking he received. You would think by learning from that, Ray, that he could be very careful from then on. But that's a terrible challenge, really. And I've seen red cards given in the continent as a straight red, but as a position of responsibility, it's no.
The comment is needless because Scott Robertson's actually gone back towards his own defenders there, and Hearts were very much in the game at that time. Ray, they actually were in the ascendancy, and I think he's let his team and his manager down, and the supporters down very badly.
He'll be disappointed. He'll be in there knowing exactly what he's done wrong, and he has to eradicate that pretty quickly. Difficult.
It's not the first time he's done it.
Well, he got sent off there last season. I think that's his 5th red card in around about sort of 20-odd months. And surely his teammates and his manager will have to be honest and say, you cost us there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Chance for a penalty in the second half. Was this a penalty for Hearts?
The more we look at it, the more it looks like a penalty kick. The defender coming in from the opposite side, from the wrong side, really. I don't think Andy Webster did anything wrong here. I think it was Kovacevic that bundled them down.
Penalty, Jim.
I think it's a penalty as well, yeah. I mean, if you look where the referee is, I think his view is blocked. The referee puts his whistle to his mouth. We're not quite sure if he was going to give a penalty or if he was going to book him for diving. But I think Kovacevic definitely comes across the player. The player may well have inherited a reputation of going down easily, and that may have went against him there.
Salt in the wound, 2-0, game over. Cadamarteri again.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a free kick, you know, and Hearts are pushing forward for the equaliser late in the game, and this is where you want someone with that pace. He makes a great, you know, run. He bends his run, stays onside, stays on his own half, and Gomez picks it down. A one-touch, lovely pass there. Look at that lovely first-time pass from Prince Boban, and the goalkeeper, maybe you could say, makes it a little bit easier for him, but he's still got a lot of work to do and shows great composure to second goal, wrap up with 3 points and the man of the match award. Not a bad first game.
2 goals for Danny Cadamarteri, 3 points for Dundee United. And we can hear from the manager. Here's Craig Levein with Daryl Curry.
Craig, what a start that was for Danny Cadamarteri, coming straight up in 2 goals.
Yeah, I was pleased for Danny, and I think the thing about him is he's delighted, one for himself and secondly for the team. I thought he worked his socks off, him and Goodwillie up front for the whole match, and I think he deserved his goals. That could become a really important partnership for you this season, especially at the start of the year. Well, we've not got much choice just now. We don't have a lot of strikers available, but they showed, both Goodwillie and Cadamarteri in pre-season showed that they could play well together, and you know, I thought they were good again tonight, but I could go through the whole team. You know, we had a lot of good performances. Yeah, I was going to say that one thing that really stood out was the mobility of the midfield there. Yeah, they're all good players. They like to get on the ball and they're comfortable. That sometimes we get a little bit gung ho and you know, and leave ourselves a bit short. But we did better tonight in regard to that. I thought that Prince and Scotty Robertson in particular, you know, gave us a decent balance when the other guys were popping up in different areas of the field. So yeah, and we defended. We got a clean sheet, good for the goalkeeper, good for the back four, and you know, we've got 1 point more now than we had after 5 games last season, which pleases me immensely. And the experience as well we spoke about before the match. Guys like Andy Webster there back with Darren Dodds, that really showed all night, it seemed. Yeah, Andy's a good player. He just needs to play games, you know, and you know, if we can get him back playing on a regular basis without any injury problems, then he'll be a big asset for us, as he showed tonight. And I think you thought the game probably should have been over a bit before it was. There was a few penalty shouts in the first half. Were you disappointed not to get more? Well, I haven't seen it, so I'd need to be, you know, to be fair to Steve, I'd need to have a look at the incidents just to see if there was another penalty. But I mean, I thought Steve refereed the game pretty well. You know, I can't think there's any complaints really. And you know, I think it's a good start for us. That's all it is. We've got a long way to go, but it was pleasing to get the victory tonight. We spoke again pre-match about Hearts, and you said they've got a much higher payroll than you, but on that evidence tonight, it didn't show. I think Chavez had to make a lot of changes again. You know, there's a lot of people left. There's some very, very good players have left Hearts in the summer, and you know, it's not easy to replace good players. And I think it's particularly tonight when Lee Wallace went out with an injury. Well, I take it was an injury because he wasn't playing. Then he had 3 of the back 4 who hadn't really played together before, so you know, that makes it difficult. I thought that our strikers capitalised at times on that, and if we'd been a little bit more patient in the last third of the park, we might have got more goals. Craig, thank you for your time and well done tonight. Okay, thank you.
3 points for Dundee United. Positives in defeat for Hearts, Colin?
Positives in defeat for Hearts? I think towards the second half of the first half, they had 4 or 5 good chances. I think they were a bit of a self-destruct button from Dundee United. They gave too many free kicks away. Just look at the crime count there. I think Dundee United had given 19 free kicks away to Hearts as 12. If you're going to nitpick for Craig tonight, Craig Levein, you'll be a bit unhappy with that. But certainly Hearts did up the ante towards the end of the first half. But of course, the self-destruct button from Hearts was pressed in the second half.
Yeah, they forced saves out of Nicky Weaver.
Yeah, but I thought their spirit was tremendous, Ray. I mean, they worked very, very hard. If anything, they actually played better with 10 men. I mean, we'll see a few chances in the first half that Nicky Weaver, you know, had to be at his best and had to be very alert about. And then at the second half, as I said, with 10 men, you know, they pressed for that equaliser. And, you know, the second goal was always a chance of that happening when you're pushing so many bodies forward late in the match. But they asked questions here, and this is a terrific save from the goalkeeper. I mean, it's one you would expect him to make. But I think Hearts created a lot of chances, worked very hard, showed that there is a togetherness there. But we said at the very start of the programme, Ray, they need a striker.
Still to come, we'll have the goals from the opening weekend of the Barclays Premier League. 24 in total, all well worth another look and a couple of real crackers. And we'll have more reaction from Tannadice, where we're hoping to hear from Hearts manager Csaba Laszlo. Tannadice, after a 2-0 defeat. Hearts are warming down. They leave for Zagreb tomorrow, ready to prepare for a Europa League playoff against Dinamo Zagreb, first leg on Thursday night. And they've put on record how grateful they are to Dundee United for letting them use the stadium this evening and their training facilities tomorrow before they leave for Croatia. Didn't give anything else out tonight, Dundee United. Our next live game from the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League is this Saturday, midday start for Eddie May's Falkirk against Hibs, managed by John Hughes. Heavy defeat for Falkirk Rangers on Saturday, while it was a home win for Hibs over St Mirren. Csaba Laszlo, the Hearts boss, has to react to a 2-0 defeat. Interesting to hear what he thinks about his skipper getting sent off. He's with Daryl.
Csaba, you named Michael Stewart your captain this week. He was sent off in the first SPL game of the season. Did you feel he let you down tonight?
Okay, this was also a key point from this game. I think, especially, I talk also in the dressing room about the referee and about the red card. And now he come after 10 minutes. I think 40 minutes we played with 10 guys in the field, but I think definitely at the moment this is too early, and the emotion is very high also in me to talk about this red card. But definitely this was also a key point from the game. But normally in this situation you must handle a little bit careful and more easier to don't go in the danger to go out and will be sent out. And I think at the moment the most important is the performance in the team, from the team, and I think especially with 10 guys also we played a good football, and then we had some good chance. And
it must have been disappointing though, especially with Dinamo Zagreb coming on Thursday and then Rangers next weekend as well.
Yeah, okay, this is you can't avoid. You cannot take now 2 weeks holiday and tell no, I prepare for Dinamo Zagreb. This is also at the moment I don't like to talk about this. I think for us and also for the Scottish football was and is very important to protect a little bit the teams. My opinion is a little bit at the moment different. Not why I lose the game tomorrow. Early we must fly direct to Zagreb, and the game is very close, and also you have some injured players. But definitely this is the other discussion, and at the moment we must accept what we have, and we lose the game 2-0. At the moment you can explain with the red card, you can explain with the referee, you can explain why you don't do it this, and no, you must score goals, and also with 10 guys you can win the game. And I think at the moment the performance was very positive. We do some mistakes. Okay, Edgar Johnson penalty, Mike Stewart, but we are a team and we try to win the game together. We lose together. Maybe in the next game will be better.
Csaba, thank you for your time and best of luck in midweek.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, have to put it behind them on Thursday night in the Europa League. Great to be at Goodison Park on Saturday. Well, it was if you're an Arsenal player or supporter. They hammered Everton in the SPN's first live Barclays Premier League match.
It is ESPN's first live Barclays Premier League match. Danielson! Great debut goal by Thomas Vermaelen. Gallas, it's 3! Wonderful football, Fabregas, and number 4 makes it 4. It's Arsenal's day, all right. Arshavin. Oh, the post, and Eduardo scores. Pinar and Saha. It is 6-1. It's a message to the other members of the Premier League.
So, how should Celtic approach tomorrow night's Champions League first leg qualifier with Celtic and Arsenal?
After the performances on Saturday, both teams, which were really very, very good, I think they need to try and make a fortress tomorrow night, the supporters at least anyway.
So what do you do in this situation, Jim? Having seen Arsenal, their artistic football is terrific. So, but if you're Celtic, what do you do now? What do you say?
Well, I think the pressure's more on Arsenal, I have to say that, because I don't think they'll win the Premiership this year, and you know, there's an awful lot of responsibility on them to do well in the Champions League. I think Celtic's record at Celtic Park is exceptional, and they'll go at Arsenal, there's no question about that, and I think it'll be a fantastic football match.
Celtic at Celtic Park, it'll be quite an atmosphere. We're still not finished tonight. The rest of this weekend's Barclays Premier League goals are on their way, including a debut goal from Manchester City's Emmanuel Adebayor. Dundee United 2, Hearts 0 in the Scottish Premier League tonight. Danny Cadamarteri scored both goals. From the Scottish Premier League to England's Premier League and the rest of the goals from the weekend.
Back in May, Liverpool had momentum, 5 successive wins. The break did them no favours. A sluggish start to the new campaign punished as Wilson Palacios tumbled and Benoit Asuakoto blasted Spurs in front. When new signing Glenn Johnson brought the worst out of Aurelio Gomez, last season's runners-up drew level. No prizes for guessing the hero. But Liverpool's delight lasted only 3 minutes. Luka Modric picked out Sebastian Bassong for the winner on his debut. And the ref's refusal to give another penalty when Voronin went flying left Rafa Benitez raging. A more straightforward opener for the champions. Sir Alex Ferguson faced one of his protégés, but Alex McLeish's newly promoted Birmingham were no match for Manchester United. Wayne Rooney especially seemed keen to seize centre stage and defy the doommongers who said Ronaldo's departure would leave United short of goals. Michael Owen's equally intent on filling that gap, but his best chance went begging. New manager, new formation for Chelsea, but Carlo Ancelotti's diamond didn't sparkle and the Blues fell behind against Hull. Since his Petr Cech clash, Stephen Hunt's been seen as a villain at the Bridge, and now the Irishman's even less popular. Chelsea were thankful to Didier Drogba, back on terms with a thunderous free kick, which won Roman's approval. And it was thumbs down for the Tigers in stoppage time as the Ivorian got lucky. Even Drogba had to admit it was meant to be a cross. A quick return on City's summer investment. Mark Hughes' most expensive close-season signing paid dividends inside 3 minutes. Emmanuel Adebayor off the mark against a Blackburn team who'd threatened to kick lumps out of their illustrious opponents, but couldn't get close enough. Stephen Ireland on target too, as City made a sure-footed start. Well, most of them. Roberto Martinez announced his arrival in the big time by outwitting Martin O'Neill, and not many managed that. Hugo Rodallega's incredible strike was just the beginning. Martinez, renowned for attractive football at Swansea, saw Jason Kumas crown a flowing move for the second. Villa's ugly afternoon ended in jeers. Wolves licked a few teams last season and enveloped the best they could manage this time. Mark Noble's goal for West Ham underlined the leaping quality the Championship title winners must quickly come to terms with. Once Matthew Upson fulfilled his vow to score more often, the Hammers were home and dry. Owen Coyles carried Burnley back to the top flight for the first time in 33 years, but emulating Stoke by staying there will be tough. Ryan Shawcross showed why he's on the radar of a host of leading clubs before one of those mighty Rory Delap deliveries left Stephen Jordan embarrassed. Record signing Darren Bent took his bow for Sunderland, and Steve Bruce soon had no doubts he'd spent wisely. The £10 million man took just 5 minutes to catch Bolton flat-footed and give Sunderland's new manager a successful start. Portsmouth's takeover saga continues to drag on, and Paul Hart already looks weary. Bobby Zamora's fortuitous deflection par for the course at Pompey right now. Fulham very glad he stayed.
What jumps off the screen from that, Colin?
Well, some fantastic goals. We're just curious about Man City, the amount of money it's going to be spent and how they're going to try and win the league.
How quickly can you put team spirit alongside talent?
Well, I think that's up to the management and the coaching staff, and you can add that. But for me, the biggest thing was the two big guns, Manchester United and Chelsea, put down their markers again. Similar to last year, Chelsea won in the last minute, Man U won in 1-0.
Were Liverpool disappointing yesterday, do you feel?
Yeah, I think they were disappointing, but you've got to credit Tottenham as well. They look powerful, organised, and Harry's got them off to a good start.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Just that Gomez always seems a little bit of a liability, but in terms of squad, they've got real quality right throughout the squad.
And most important, manager of Brecon City, where are you on Saturday?
Yeah, we're away to Stirling, Albion.
So, yeah. Are they going to win that one, do you think?
I'll put my money on you. I'll put my money on you.
Good evening this evening, wasn't it? Good start.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start. It was great entertainment.
Yeah. And that's it. Thanks to Colin and Jim. Great to see you, Colin. ESPN's first Scottish Premier League fixture ended with victory for Dundee United. Danny was delighted on his debut. 2 goals. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.